good evening, and welcome. Wherever you are listening from, perhaps as the day grows quiet, perhaps beneath a warm blanket, or perhaps while the world outside slowly settles into darkness, I invite you to join me on a gentle journey through forgotten worlds. There is nowhere you need to be, nothing you need to accomplish. For a little while, we will simply wander. Imagine standing at the edge of an ancient ruin just as the sun begins to rise. The air is cool, the light is soft. Long shadows stretch across weathered stones that have rested in the same place for centuries. A few birds move through the silence. Grass grows between cracked pathways. Nearby, a wall still stands where countless hands once passed by every day. At first glance, the place seems empty, yet it is not truly empty at all. The stones remain, the paths remain, the memory of human lives remains. And that is where our story begins. When most people hear the phrase lost city, they often picture something dramatic. They imagine a magnificent place hidden deep within a jungle, buried beneath desert sands, or concealed inside a forgotten valley known only to legend. There is certainly wonder in those images, but the truth is often gentler. Many lost cities were never completely lost. This matters because the word lost can sometimes create the wrong impression. A city may disappear from maps. It may vanish from official records. Travelers from distant lands may forget it entirely. Yet local people often continue to remember. A ruined temple may become part of a village landscape. An ancient wall may remain a familiar landmark. A broken tower may survive in stories told by grandparents to children sitting beside evening fires. The city disappears from one memory while remaining alive in another. In that sense, a city can be lost and remembered at the same time. What makes this fascinating is how often the people closest to these places never forgot them at all. Long before scholars arrived with notebooks and surveys, long before explorers published descriptions for distant readers, local communities frequently knew exactly where old ruins stood. They walked past them. They farmed beside them. They built stories around them. They carried their memory forward. Imagine a child growing up beside the remains of an ancient settlement. To that child, the stones are not a mystery waiting to be discovered. They are simply part of the landscape. A familiar sight, a familiar story, a familiar reminder that other people lived there long ago. Over time, those quiet memories can survive for centuries. Lost cities are therefore not only stories about disappearance, they are stories about remembrance. And perhaps that is one reason ruins hold such a powerful place in the human imagination. Across cultures and across thousands of years, people have been drawn toward abandoned places. There is something deeply calming about them. A ruined city invites reflection. It encourages us to slow down, to pause, to wonder. Imagine walking along an ancient street where no footsteps have echoed for generations. The buildings are silent, the market stalls are gone, the voices have faded, yet traces remain. A doorway, a staircase, a worn stone threshold polished smooth by countless feet. These small details remind us that history is not made only of kings, queens, battles, and monuments. History is also made of ordinary mornings. People carrying water, people preparing meals, people opening shops, children playing games, neighbors exchanging greetings. The result is a strange and comforting feeling. The ruins may be silent, but they still speak, not through words, through presence, through endurance, through the simple fact that they remain. As we travel together through the lost cities of the ancient world, we will return again and again to one central idea. Lost cities are not really about ruins, they are about people. Every wall was built by someone. Every road was walked by someone. Every temple, workshop, market, garden, and home once formed part of a living community. Imagine seeing a city not at the moment of its abandonment, but during an ordinary afternoon. Smoke rises from cooking fires. Merchants arrange goods for sale. Children run through narrow streets. Workers repair walls. Farmers return from nearby fields. Nothing about the scene suggests that one day the city will be quiet. Nothing suggests that centuries later strangers will gaze upon its remains and wonder who once lived there. Yet that transformation happens again and again throughout history. Cities rise, cities flourish, cities change, and sometimes cities fade. The reasons are many. Some are reclaimed by forests. Some are buried beneath drifting sands. Some are damaged by earthquakes or floods. Others slowly lose their importance as trade routes shift and populations move elsewhere. Yet even when buildings crumble, traces often endure. This reminds us that disappearance is rarely complete. A city may fade gradually, like a distant sound growing softer. A road becomes less traveled. A harbor welcomes fewer ships. A marketplace grows quieter. Generation by generation, the center of life shifts somewhere else. And eventually the city becomes something different. Not a home, not a destination, a memory. The scale of that process is astonishing. Human beings have built cities for thousands of years. Many survive today. Many have vanished. And countless others remain hidden, waiting quietly beneath the surface of the world. Some rest beneath dense forests where roots wrap gently around old stones. Some lie beneath deserts where wind carries sand across forgotten walls. Some wait beneath fields and villages. Others sleep beneath modern streets where people pass overhead without realizing what lies below. Picture a busy city today. Cars moving, lights glowing, people hurrying home. Beneath those streets may rest older streets. Beneath those foundations may lie older foundations. Layer upon layer, century upon century. A hidden world beneath the visible one. And perhaps that is one of the most remarkable things about history. The past rarely disappears completely. It lingers in stories, in landscapes, in memories, in stone. So as our journey begins, let us carry that thought with us. Beneath forests, deserts, mountains, rivers, and modern cities alike, countless forgotten worlds still remain. Some are known, some are partly remembered, some have yet to be found. And all of them have stories to tell. As we continue our journey, let us move a little deeper into the question that quietly rests beneath every lost city. How does an entire city disappear? At first, the idea seems almost impossible. Cities are large places. They contain homes, roads, monuments, workshops, temples, marketplaces, and communities. They shape landscapes and influence entire regions. How could something so substantial simply vanish? The answer, as it often does in history, unfolds slowly. Most cities do not disappear overnight. Nature is patient. Time is patient. Together, they can transform even the greatest human creations. Imagine a stone city standing at the edge of a tropical forest. Its walls are strong, its plazas are broad, its temples rise above the surrounding landscape. People come and go throughout the day, merchants travel its roads, farmers cultivate nearby land, children grow up believing the city will always be there. Then years pass, generations pass, The city changes. Fewer people remain. Buildings receive less maintenance. Roofs begin to fail. Small plants appear in cracks between stones. At first, these changes seem insignificant, yet nature works slowly and continuously. A seed falls into a narrow opening. Rainwater gathers. Roots grow. A tiny plant becomes a shrub. A shrub becomes a tree. The roots expand. The stone shifts. Another rainy season arrives. Another generation passes. And gradually the forest begins its quiet return. Imagine walking through such a place centuries later. Vines hang from ancient walls, roots embrace stairways, branches stretch across plazas where people once gathered, birdsong replaces conversation. The city has not truly disappeared, but it has become hidden. This process has occurred in many parts of the world. The forest does not rush. It does not conquer. It simply grows, year after year, century after century, until human architecture becomes part of the landscape itself. What makes this fascinating is how completely nature can reshape appearances. A hill covered in trees may seem entirely natural, yet beneath the vegetation could rest foundations, roads, reservoirs, and buildings created long ago. The evidence remains. Only the surface has changed. Forests are not the only forces capable of concealing cities. Rivers also play their part. Imagine a settlement built beside a great river. The location seems ideal. Fresh water is nearby. Trade routes are accessible. Fields can be irrigated. The city prospers. But rivers are living systems. They shift. They curve. They alter their paths over time. A channel that once flowed beside a city may gradually move elsewhere. Water that sustained life may become more distant. Trade routes may follow the new course. The city remains, but its advantages diminish. Over many years, people may relocate. Buildings may be abandoned. The landscape continues changing. Eventually, the river and the city no longer resemble the world that earlier generations knew. In some cases, the opposite occurs. Instead of moving away, water arrives. Floods deposit layers of mud and sediment. Year after year, those layers accumulate. Slowly, almost invisibly, the past becomes buried. A traveler standing on the surface centuries later might never suspect that ancient streets lie beneath their feet. Coastlines also change. Imagine a harbor bustling with ships. Sailors arrive from distant shores. Goods are unloaded. Markets thrive. The sea is central to daily life. Yet coastlines are not fixed. Waves reshape beaches. Sediment fills channels. Harbors become shallow. The sea retreats from some places and advances into others. The result can be surprisingly dramatic over long periods of time. A thriving port may find itself stranded inland, or a shoreline settlement may eventually disappear beneath rising waters. The landscape changes. The city changes with it. Earthquakes add another chapter to this story. Across the ancient world, cities were often built in regions shaped by powerful geological forces. Most days passed peacefully, yet deep beneath the ground, immense energies continued their slow movement. When the earth shifted, walls could crack, buildings could collapse, roads could buckle. Sometimes communities rebuilt, sometimes they moved elsewhere. The physical traces remained, but life gradually flowed away. Imagine visiting such a place centuries later. Broken columns lie where they fell. Stone blocks rest at unusual angles. The city appears frozen in a particular moment of time. A reminder that human plans and natural forces have always shared the same landscape. There are also quieter forms of disappearance. Some cities simply lose their purpose. Trade routes change. Political centers move. New opportunities arise elsewhere. People follow work, resources, and connections. Over time, the population declines. A once busy city becomes a small town, then perhaps a village. Eventually, only ruins remain. No catastrophe, no sudden event, just gradual change. In that sense, some lost cities faded much like old memories, slowly, almost gently. Today, many of these places are becoming visible once again, not because the forests have vanished, not because deserts have suddenly uncovered their secrets, but because new tools allow researchers to see landscapes in different ways. One remarkable example is a technology known as LiDAR. The details are less important than the image it creates. Imagine a researcher studying a vast tropical forest. From above, the landscape appears almost entirely green. Trees stretch to the horizon. The canopy seems unbroken. There is no obvious sign of roads, plazas, or buildings. Then, the data is processed. The trees seem to melt away, and beneath them, another world appears. Straight lines emerge where nature rarely creates straight lines. Ancient roads connect distant locations. Terraces shape hillsides. Reservoirs and neighborhoods become visible. Entire cities begin to reveal themselves. It is easy to imagine the feeling. Not excitement, not triumph, but quiet wonder. A landscape that appeared empty suddenly becomes crowded with human stories. People once lived there, worked there, dreamed there, built there. The city was never truly gone. It was simply hidden. This reminds us that the earth holds many layers. What we see on the surface is only part of the story. Beneath forests, beneath fields, beneath modern towns, and beneath the shifting shapes of rivers and coastlines, traces of earlier worlds remain. Nature has had centuries to conceal them, and nature is remarkably skilled at keeping secrets. The forest grows, the river shifts, the coastline changes, the ground settles, time passes, and slowly, patiently, entire civilizations can disappear from view. Yet the evidence often remains waiting beneath the surface. A road, a wall, a staircase, a forgotten neighborhood, a city sleeping quietly beneath leaves, soil, sand, or stone. And perhaps that is the most remarkable lesson of all. Nature is often patient enough to hide entire civilizations, and patient enough to preserve them until someone is ready to look again. Imagine walking at dawn through a narrow passage of stone. The air is still cool from the night. Above you, high walls of rock rise on either side, warm with faint colors that the sun has not yet fully awakened. The path curves gently forward. Sand rests in small hollows beneath your feet. Somewhere ahead, a bird calls softly, and the sound echoes along the stone. This is the Sick. It is the ancient entrance to Petra. For a long time, the city remains hidden. You do not see it all at once. You approach it slowly, step by step, through a winding corridor carved by nature and shaped by human hands. The cliffs narrow, the light changes. Pale gold becomes rose, and rose becomes red, and red becomes shadow. Then, at the end of the passage, a shape appears, at first only a glimpse. A column, a carved surface, a doorway cut into glowing stone, and then the treasury comes into view. It stands there quietly, its face carved directly from the cliff, looking less like a building placed in the desert than a dream released from the rock itself. What makes Petra so remarkable is not only its beauty, it is the way it belongs to the landscape. The Nabateans, the people who made Petra great, understood the desert deeply. They did not fight it in a simple way. They listened to it, they studied it, They learned where water moved, where storms gathered, where travelers passed, and where stone could become shelter. Petra was a city of rock, but it was also a city of water. That may seem surprising at first. The desert appears dry and silent, yet hidden within it are brief rains, seasonal floods, springs, channels, and careful possibilities. The Nabateans captured those possibilities with great patience. They carved channels along cliffs. They built cisterns to store precious water. They guided sudden desert floods away from dangerous places and toward useful ones. Imagine a family living in Petra on an ordinary morning. A woman fills a jar from stored water. A child watches donkeys passing along a shaded lane. A craftsman works near the cool face of a stone wall. Outside the city, the desert stretches wide and bright. But within Petra, there is water enough for gardens, animals, traders, and homes. This matters because cities do not survive on beauty alone. They survive on systems. And Petra's quiet genius was not only in its monuments, but in the hidden channels that made life possible. Over time, Petra became a meeting place for the desert roads of Arabia. Caravans arrived from distant lands. Picture them approaching in the evening when the day's heat begins to soften. Camels move slowly across the sand. Bells hang from their harnesses, ringing with a muted rhythm. Bundles of incense, spices, textiles, oils, metals, and precious goods are carried through the dry air. Traders speak in different languages. Guides know the wells. Animals kneel at resting places. Fires glow beneath the stars. Petra was part of a world connected by movement. Goods from southern Arabia, the Mediterranean, Egypt, Syria, and beyond passed through its routes. A small object in one market could carry the memory of many landscapes: sea winds, mountain paths, desert nights, and crowded ports. What makes this fascinating is how trade can turn a difficult place into a powerful one. To an outsider, the desert may seem empty, but to those who understand it, the desert is full of routes, full of signs, full of knowledge. A valley, a spring, a shaded passage, a safe stopping place, these could shape the wealth of a city. Petra grew because people moved through it, and as they moved, they carried stories with them. They carried news, customs, languages, beliefs, styles of carving, ways of measuring, bargaining, praying, and remembering. In that sense, Petra was not isolated at all. It was a quiet crossroads, a city of stone listening to the footsteps of the world. Imagine the city near twilight. The cliffs begin to glow with deep pink and amber light. The carved tombs change color as the sun lowers. Shadows gather in the hollows of doorways. Merchants finish the day's work. Animals are watered. Smoke rises from small fires. High above, the desert sky opens into evening. There is a peacefulness in that image, not because Petra was free from hardship. No ancient city was, but because the place seems to hold time differently. Stone slows the imagination. It asks us to linger. Many later visitors misunderstood Petra. Some saw the great carved facades and imagined treasures hidden behind them. Others told stories about secret riches, forgotten kings, and mysterious chambers. The name treasury itself came from later beliefs, not from the building's original purpose. This reminds us how legends gather around ruins. When a city becomes quiet, people begin to explain the silence. They imagine gold in sealed rooms. They imagine ancient wisdom locked behind stone. They imagine that beauty must conceal a secret. Yet the real wonder of Petra may be simpler and deeper. It was a place where human beings learned to live with a difficult landscape, They carved homes, tombs, temples, and monuments from sandstone. They welcomed travelers. They stored water in the desert. They turned cliffs into architecture. They built a city that seemed almost impossible until it existed. Picture one more walk through Petra, not as a visitor seeing ruins, but as someone arriving long ago. You pass through the sick in the cool morning shade. You hear camel bells behind you. You smell dust, animals, stone, and faint traces of incense. Ahead, the city opens. Cliffs rise in soft red layers. Doorways appear in the rock. People move through narrow spaces between stone and sun. Water runs quietly where careful hands have guided it. And for a moment, the desert does not seem empty at all. It seems alive with paths, alive with memory, alive with the slow movement of people across wide and ancient lands. Over time, Petra's importance declined. Trade routes changed. Political powers shifted. Earthquakes damaged parts of the city. People moved elsewhere, as people often do when the center of life changes. The carved cliffs remained. The water channels endured. The stone faces watched the desert grow quiet. And so Petra became, to many outsiders, a lost city. But like so many lost cities, it was not truly erased. Local communities knew of it. Travelers heard of it. The desert remembered it in its own way. The silence that settled over Petra was not empty silence. It was the silence of a place waiting beneath the wide sky. The lesson of Petra is gentle but lasting. Trade routes can create greatness. They can bring wealth, language, art, and movement into a remote valley of stone. But routes can also shift. Markets can move. Caravans can choose other roads. And when movement changes, even a city carved into cliffs can grow quiet. Still, the beauty remains. The cliffs continue to warm in the sun. The sick still leads inward. The treasury still appears slowly, as if offered one glimpse at a time. And the old desert roads, though mostly silent now, still seem to carry the faint echo of camel bells fading into evening. Far from the deserts of Arabia, beyond warm sands and caravan roads, another world rises into the sky. Imagine standing on a mountain path before dawn. The air is cool and thin. Clouds drift below you instead of above you. Mist moves quietly through distant valleys. The outlines of steep peaks emerge slowly in the first light of morning. The world feels larger here and quieter. It is easy to imagine why people have long looked toward mountains with a sense of wonder. Mountains seem to belong partly to the earth and partly to the sky. They create natural refuges, hidden valleys, and distant places that can remain unseen for centuries. Among these high landscapes rests one of the most famous lost cities in the world, Machu Picchu. Today it is known across the globe. Yet there was a time when it remained largely hidden from outsiders, resting peacefully among the Andes while clouds drifted across its stone walls and mountain ridges. What makes Machu Picchu remarkable is not only its location, it is the harmony between human effort and the landscape itself. Imagine approaching the city long ago. The journey would not have been simple. Mountain trails twist through valleys and across ridges. Rivers rush far below. Steep slopes rise in every direction. The path requires patience. Then, after climbing through the mountains, the city appears. Terraces step gracefully along the hillside. Stone buildings rest upon carefully prepared foundations. The peaks surrounding the settlement seem almost protective, standing watch over the city from every side. Nothing feels accidental. Everything appears carefully placed. The result is a sense of balance that remains striking even today. Picture the city at sunrise. The first light touches the highest stones. Mist lingers among the terraces. A few people begin their morning tasks. Someone carries water. Someone tends crops growing on the stepped agricultural slopes. Someone walks along a stone path that curves gently through the settlement. The mountains remain silent. The city awakens slowly. This reminds us that even extraordinary places were once home to ordinary mornings. People did not wake each day thinking they lived inside a future wonder of the world. They woke because there was work to do, meals to prepare, fields to tend, families to care for. The beauty surrounding them was simply part of life. The terraces of Machu Picchu tell an important part of that story. At first glance, they appear elegant, and they are. But they were also practical. The mountains offered limited flat land. The solution was to create new surfaces for cultivation. Stone retaining walls held soil in place. Crops could be grown on carefully engineered levels that followed the shape of the mountain itself. Imagine standing on one of those terraces. Below you, layer after layer descends into the valley. Above you, another series climbs toward the ridges. The landscape becomes a partnership between nature and human ingenuity. What makes this fascinating is the amount of effort hidden within the beauty. Every stone had to be moved. Every terrace had to be built. Every pathway required labor. The city appears peaceful, yet it was created through countless days of careful work. And perhaps that quiet effort is one of its greatest achievements. The stone craftsmanship of the Inca world remains equally remarkable. Many of the structures were built using precisely shaped stones fitted together without mortar. Imagine a mason studying a block of stone. He turns it carefully. He shapes its surface. He compares it against neighboring stones. Piece by piece, the structure emerges. The fit becomes so precise that even centuries later the joints remain astonishingly tight. The evidence still survives today. Walls continue standing despite earthquakes, storms, and the passing of generations. The stones seem to hold a memory of the hands that shaped them, and in that sense, every wall becomes a conversation across time. Beyond the city itself stretched a vast network of roads. The Inca world was connected through routes that crossed mountains, valleys, and high plateaus. These roads linked communities separated by enormous distances. Travelers moved messages, goods, and information across difficult terrain. Imagine walking one of those mountain roads. The path follows a ridge high above a valley. Clouds drift through the landscape. Condors circle far overhead. The journey requires endurance, but the road remains clear and purposeful. Along the way, travelers encounter bridges suspended above rushing rivers. Some of these were rope bridges. They may seem fragile to modern eyes, yet they represented extraordinary skill and knowledge. Picture a bridge stretching across a deep canyon. The river below churns against rocks. The bridge sways gently in the wind. A traveler pauses before crossing. Then, step by step, carefully and steadily, continues onward. Such structures connected distant communities and allowed movement through landscapes that might otherwise have seemed impossible to traverse. The scale of that achievement is astonishing. Yet Machu Picchu is only one chapter in the story of lost cities above the clouds. There are other places hidden among the Andes. Some are less famous. Some remain difficult to reach even today. One of these is Choqquequirao. Its name is not as widely known, but its story carries a similar sense of wonder. Imagine another mountain city resting above deep valleys. Terraces cling to steep slopes. Stone buildings emerge from vegetation. Clouds gather and disperse throughout the day. The landscape feels remote, Even now, reaching the site requires determination. Long trails wind through rugged terrain. Elevation changes challenge every traveler. The journey itself becomes part of the experience. Perhaps this helps explain why some places remained hidden for so long. Not because nobody knew they existed, not because they vanished completely, but because reaching them demanded effort. Distance can preserve memory in unusual ways. A city hidden by mountains does not need walls of secrecy. The mountains themselves become guardians. Imagine a traveler centuries ago standing on a ridge overlooking one of these settlements. Below, stone structures catch the morning light. Above, peaks disappear into clouds. The world feels vast. The city feels small. Yet life unfolds there as it does everywhere. Children learn from parents. Farmers work fields. Craftsmen shape tools. Communities gather for ceremonies and celebrations. Human life continues, even in places that seem almost suspended between earth and sky. This reminds us of something important. When we speak of lost cities, we often focus on discovery. We focus on the moment when outsiders encounter a place. But the true story usually begins much earlier. Long before maps recorded these locations, people lived there. Long before scholars studied the stones, families built lives among them. The cities were not mysteries to those who called them home. They were simply home. Picture an evening in Machu Picchu. The day's work is ending. Shadows lengthen across terraces. The mountains glow softly in the final sunlight. Cool air begins descending from the higher peaks. People return to their homes. Conversations grow quieter. The sky slowly fills with stars. There is a timeless quality to the scene. The mountains remain. The clouds continue drifting. The city settles into darkness. Centuries later, many of those same mountains still stand unchanged. The terraces remain. The stone walls remain. The clouds still move through the valleys exactly as they always have. The people are gone, yet traces of their lives endure. And perhaps that is why these places continue to inspire such wonder. Not because they are mysterious in a dramatic sense, but because they remind us how much patient effort human beings have invested in shaping the world around them. A terrace carved into a mountainside, a road crossing a ridge, a bridge spanning a canyon, a wall fitted stone by stone. Each represents a decision, a skill, a day of work, a hope for the future. Over time, the mountains protected many of these places. Distance slowed change, isolation preserved memory, and while some cities became difficult for outsiders to reach, they never truly vanished from the landscape. They remained where they had always been, waiting quietly among clouds and peaks. The lesson of the Andes is a gentle one. Some cities are hidden not because they are buried, not because they are swallowed by forests, not because they sink beneath water. Sometimes they remain unseen simply because the journey to reach them is long. The mountains ask for patience. They ask travelers to climb slowly, to move carefully, to accept distance and silence. And for those willing to make that journey, the reward is not merely a city. It is a different perspective on the world. A chance to stand above the clouds, to see stone and sky sharing the same horizon, and to remember that even the most remote places were once filled with ordinary lives, unfolding day by day beneath the vast and watchful peaks of the Andes. As our journey continues, let us travel much farther back in time, beyond mountain cities and desert crossroads, beyond famous empires and well-known monuments, back to an age when some of humanity's earliest urban experiments were beginning to take shape. Imagine a world without familiar maps, no modern nations, no towering skylines, no printed books, no trains, ships, or roads as we know them today. And yet, even thousands of years ago, people were already gathering together in remarkable communities, building settlements that would become some of the first great cities in human history. Tonight, we will visit two of them. One stood beside the great rivers of South Asia. The other grew across a mound in what is now Turkey. Though separated by distance and culture, both offer something extraordinary. They allow us to glimpse the daily lives of people who lived at the very beginning of urban civilization. Let us begin with Mohenjo-Daro. Imagine approaching the city on a warm morning. The sun rises above a broad river plain. Fields stretch outward toward the horizon. Farmers begin their work. Animals move slowly through the early light. And ahead beyond the fields, a carefully organized city emerges. What makes Mohenjo-Daro remarkable is how familiar parts of it might seem. The streets were planned, buildings followed organized layouts, neighborhoods connected through a thoughtful design. This was not a settlement that simply appeared by chance. It was a city shaped by intention. Imagine walking along one of its streets. The road is straight. Brick buildings stand on either side. Doorways open into homes where families begin their day. The city feels ordered, calm, purposeful, and perhaps most surprising of all, it contains something many ancient cities struggled to achieve: an impressive system for managing water and sanitation. Water may not sound exciting at first, yet it is one of the most important foundations of urban life. A city can only grow when people solve practical problems. How will water arrive? How will waste be removed? How will large numbers of people live together comfortably? The builders of Mohenjo-Daro devoted careful attention to these questions. Many homes had access to bathing areas. Drainage channels carried water away. Brick-lined systems connected parts of the city together. Imagine a resident finishing the day's work and washing away dust before returning home. The act feels ordinary, and that is exactly what makes it fascinating. Ancient history often focuses on rulers and monuments, yet systems like these remind us that ordinary comfort mattered too. People wanted clean water, safe homes, organized neighborhoods, the same things many people value today. Picture a family waking in Mohenjo-Daro. The morning air is still cool. Someone prepares food. Children begin stirring from sleep. Neighbors greet one another as they step outside. A potter starts work. A merchant opens a storage room. Life unfolds through routines that would feel surprisingly recognizable. This reminds us that the ancient world was not populated by distant historical figures alone. It was populated by people living ordinary lives. One of the most intriguing places in Mohenjo-Daro is known today as the Great Bath. Its exact purpose remains uncertain. That uncertainty has inspired generations of curiosity. Imagine a large, brick-lined pool carefully constructed within the city. Steps descend into the water. The surrounding space feels deliberate and important. Perhaps ceremonies took place there. Perhaps it served community functions. Perhaps it held meanings we can no longer fully understand. The mystery remains. And sometimes mysteries are part of history's enduring charm. Not every question receives a complete answer. Some structures continue to invite quiet reflection thousands of years after they were built. Another mystery survives in the writing of the civilization that built Mohenjo-Daro. Archaeologists have discovered many small inscriptions. Symbols appear on seals and objects, yet the script has never been fully deciphered. Imagine holding a small seal in your hand. Its symbols were meaningful to the person who created it, meaningful to the people who read it. Perhaps it recorded a name, a place, a profession, a belief. Today, however, the message remains silent. The symbols survive, their meaning waits, and so an entire civilization speaks to us in fragments. This matters because writing is one of humanity's great bridges across time. When we can read ancient words, we hear voices directly. When writing remains undeciphered, those voices become fainter. We see the people. We see their cities. Yet much of what they wish to say remains beyond our reach. From the river plains of Mohenjo-Daro, let us now travel westward to another remarkable settlement. Atolic, at first glance, it appears very different. Imagine approaching a large mound rising gently above the surrounding landscape. From a distance, it may not even look like a city. Yet, beneath that mound lies the accumulated history of generations who built, rebuilt, and expanded their community over many centuries. What makes Atolhike especially fascinating is the way people moved through it. Imagine a neighborhood without streets. No roads separating houses. No lanes winding between buildings. Instead, homes stand directly beside one another, forming a dense and interconnected settlement. How then did people enter their homes? Not through doors facing a street, but through openings in the roof. Picture a resident climbing a ladder. The ladder leads upward. A roof opening allows entry into the house below. The roof itself functions almost like a shared pathway. People move across the tops of buildings rather than along traditional streets. It is an unusual image for modern listeners. Yet for the people who lived there, it was entirely normal. Imagine standing on one of those rooftops at sunrise. Smoke rises gently from cooking fires. Neighbors move from roof to roof. Children watch the settlement awaken. The community feels connected in a direct and physical way. The rooftops create a shared space above the homes. Below them, family life unfolds. Inside the houses, daily activities fill the rooms. Meals are prepared. Tools are repaired. Stories are shared. People sleep, work, celebrate, and mourn within spaces that often served multiple purposes. Some walls were decorated with paintings and symbolic designs. Others contained traces of family history preserved within the home itself. This reminds us that ancient houses were more than shelters. They were places of memory, places where generations left traces of their lives. Imagine a child sitting beside a fire while an older relative tells stories about ancestors. Outside, the settlement continues its routines. Inside, memory passes from one generation to the next. The evidence of those moments survives only indirectly today, yet the homes themselves still suggest lives filled with relationships, traditions, and shared experiences. What makes both Mohenjo-Daro and Atolhik so remarkable is how different their solutions were. One developed organized streets and sophisticated drainage. The other created dense rooftop neighborhoods without conventional roads. Both represent creative responses to the challenge of living together. Both reveal the ingenuity of early urban communities. And both remind us that there has never been a single way to build a city. Human beings experiment, adapt, adjust to local conditions, find solutions that fit their environment. Over time, those solutions become part of daily life. As evening falls across these ancient settlements, imagine the quiet that settles over them. In Mohenjo-Daro, shadows lengthen across brick streets. Water channels reflect fading light. Families gather within their homes. The city gradually grows still. In Atolhik, smoke drifts upward from rooftop openings. The sounds of work begin to fade. The rooftops that served as pathways throughout the day become calm beneath the evening sky. Stars appear overhead. The settlements rest. Thousands of years later, their buildings survive only in fragments. Their tools remain. Their walls remain. Their carefully shaped bricks remain. Yet many of their voices are silent. Especially in the case of Mohenjo-Daro, where the undeciphered script continues to guard its secrets. The result is both beautiful and bittersweet. We can see evidence of their intelligence, their planning, their craftsmanship, their daily routines. But much of what they wish to tell us remains hidden behind symbols we cannot yet read. And perhaps that is a fitting reflection for this stage of our journey. The first planned cities remind us that humanity's story began long before recorded history became clear. Countless people lived, worked, laughed, worried, and dreamed within these early urban worlds. Their homes shaped the future. Their innovations influenced generations that followed. Yet many of their names are lost. Many of their words remain unread. The cities still stand in memory. The bricks still rest beneath the earth. And somewhere within those silent symbols, entire conversations continue to wait patiently for the day they may finally be understood. As the night deepens and our journey continues, let us leave behind the early cities of river plains and rooftop neighborhoods. Now we travel to a landscape where water and stone were woven together on a scale so vast that, for centuries, much of it remained hidden beneath forest and memory. Imagine standing beside a calm reservoir at dawn. The water is perfectly still. The first light of morning spreads across its surface, turning it into a mirror of pale gold and silver. Palm trees and distant towers reflect in the water. A faint mist drifts across the shoreline. Nothing seems hurried. Nothing seems loud. The entire landscape feels designed for reflection. This is the world of Angkor. Today, many people know Angkor through its magnificent temples. Yet Angkor was far more than a collection of sacred buildings. It was a vast urban landscape, a city shaped by rivers and reservoirs, a city sustained by seasonal rains, a place where daily life moved in quiet rhythm with the landscape around it. What makes Angkor remarkable is the scale of its vision. Imagine looking across the landscape from a high vantage point. You would not see a single city enclosed by walls. Instead, you would see an interconnected world of canals, ponds, embankments, reservoirs, homes, fields, temples, and roads extending across the horizon. Water linked everything together. The result was a city that seemed almost to float between earth and sky. Imagine a farmer beginning work in the early morning. Nearby canals carry water through the landscape. Rice fields stretch into the distance. Birds move through reeds at the water's edge. The reservoirs glimmer beneath the rising sun. The system around him feels natural. Yet every channel, embankment, and reservoir represents careful planning accumulated over generations. Yet beneath every great monument lies a quieter story. But monuments depend upon systems. A temple may inspire wonder, yet it is water that allows communities to grow. Water that nourishes fields, water that supports daily life. And the people of Angkor devoted immense effort to managing it. Imagine generations of builders working patiently across the years. Earth is moved, channels are dug, boundaries are shaped, seasonal rains are captured and directed. Little by little, the landscape becomes something new, a partnership between human design and natural forces. Over time, the network expands, reservoirs grow larger, canals connect distant areas, the city flourishes, and from within that landscape rise some of the most extraordinary temples ever constructed. Imagine approaching one of them in the cool hours before sunrise. The sky is still dark. Stars linger overhead. Ahead, a temple silhouette emerges beside a reflecting pool. The water holds an upside-down image of towers reaching toward the heavens. The reflection is so clear that sky and earth seem briefly connected. There is a dreamlike quality to the scene. The boundary between architecture and nature becomes difficult to separate. This was not accidental. Many of Angkor's sacred structures carried symbolic meanings connected to the cosmos. The temples were not simply buildings. They were representations of a larger universe. Their towers evoked sacred mountains. Their moats suggested cosmic oceans. Their layouts reflected spiritual ideas about order and harmony. Imagine walking through one of these temple complexes. Stone pathways guide your steps. Carved figures emerge from walls. Courtyards open beneath the sky. Every detail feels purposeful. Yet despite the grandeur, there is also a sense of calm. The architecture invites contemplation. The scale encourages humility. The result is not merely visual beauty. It is a feeling, a quiet awareness of being part of something larger. What makes this fascinating is how deeply symbolism and daily life were intertwined. For the people of Angkor, sacred ideas were not separate from the landscape around them. Water flowed through both practical systems and spiritual imagination. Reservoirs supported agriculture. Temples expressed cosmic order. Together they formed a unified world. Picture an ordinary morning in Angkor. A child follows a parent along a canal. Boats move across calm water. Artisans begin their work. Monks walk quietly between temples. Farmers head toward fields nourished by the city's vast hydraulic network. The monumental structures dominate the horizon, yet life unfolds through familiar routines. People gather food, repair tools, care for families, exchange greetings. This reminds us once again that even the greatest cities were ultimately collections of ordinary lives. The monuments survive. The names of rulers may endure. But history was also carried by countless individuals whose stories remain untold. Among all the temples of Angkor, one in particular captures the imagination in a unique way. Taprom. Imagine walking through a forest where stone walls emerge unexpectedly among trees. At first, the ruins seem peaceful enough. Columns stand where they have stood for centuries. Doorways open into quiet courtyards. Sunlight filters through leaves overhead. Then you notice the roots. Massive roots that flow across walls like rivers of wood. Roots that descend from towering trees and wrap themselves around stone blocks. Roots that seem to embrace the ruins rather than destroy them. The sight is unforgettable. Stone and tree become intertwined. Neither fully dominates the other. Instead, they coexist. The forest has not simply reclaimed the temple. It has become part of it. Imagine standing quietly beside one of these great trees. Its roots twist through corridors and over rooftops. The temple supports the tree. The tree supports the temple. Together, they create a landscape unlike any other. What makes this so compelling is the passage of time it represents. The temple was built by human hands. The tree grew slowly over centuries. Generation after generation passed. Empires changed. Languages evolved. The roots continued growing. The stones continued weathering. And eventually the two became inseparable. It is a remarkable reminder of how history unfolds, not suddenly, but gradually, year after year, season after season. The meeting of root and stone has become one of history's most enduring images. Perhaps because it captures something universal. Human beings create, nature responds, neither remains unchanged. Imagine returning to Angkor after centuries of reduced activity. The reservoirs still hold water, the canals remain visible, the temples stand above the landscape, yet the forest has grown denser. Trees appear where open spaces once existed. Birds nest among carvings, leaves gather in courtyards. The city has not vanished. It has simply entered a new chapter. Nature becomes a participant in the story. This reminds us that lost cities are rarely erased. More often, they are transformed. The structures remain. The landscape changes around them. A visitor sees one thing, a historian sees another. Nature moves to a different measure, guided only by time. And time changes everything. Picture one final evening in Angkor. The sun lowers toward the horizon. Golden light touches temple towers. Reflections shimmer across quiet water. The sounds of the day begin to fade. Birds settle among branches. The forest grows still. The reservoirs become mirrors once more. Stone and water share the last light of day. And for a moment, it is difficult to know where architecture ends and nature begins. Perhaps that is the enduring lesson of Angkor. Human beings can shape landscapes with extraordinary skill. They can build canals, reservoirs, roads, and temples. They can create cities of breathtaking complexity and beauty. Yet nature remains present throughout the process, waiting patiently, growing steadily, responding quietly. In the end, the forest does not arrive as an enemy. It arrives as a companion. Roots find stone. Stone supports roots. The city becomes part of the landscape that surrounds it. And so, as darkness settles over the reservoirs and temple towers of Angkor, we are left with a gentle thought. Every city, no matter how grand, eventually enters into conversation with nature. And sooner or later, nature joins every city. As we continue our quiet journey through the lost cities of the ancient world, let us visit places that were not hidden by forests, buried beneath deserts, or concealed by mountains. Instead, these cities were preserved so completely that they offer some of the clearest windows into everyday life that history has ever provided. Imagine walking through an ancient street and finding that much of it still remains where it was left. A doorway still opens into a home. A painted wall still carries its colors. A bakery still contains its ovens. A shop still displays traces of its counters. The city feels less like a ruin and more like a paused moment, as though time itself briefly stopped moving. This is the remarkable gift of cities frozen in time, and perhaps no place illustrates this better than Pompeii. Imagine arriving on a warm morning nearly 2,000 years ago. The streets are already busy. Merchants arrange goods for sale. Customers pause to talk. Bakers prepare fresh bread. Children weave through the crowd. Dogs wander the lanes. The city is alive with ordinary activity. The morning unfolds, much as countless mornings had before it. Nothing suggests that future generations will one day walk these same streets, wondering about the people who once lived there. This matters because history is often told through great events. But most people experience life through ordinary days. Pompeii offers something rare, a chance to glimpse those quiet, ordinary days with remarkable clarity. Imagine walking along one of the city's stone-paved streets. Wheel ruts mark the road where carts have passed countless times. Stepping stones cross the street at intervals, allowing pedestrians to move above water and mud during wet weather. The details are practical, simple, yet they bring the city to life. Sometimes a worn stone reveals as much as a grand monument. perhaps even more effectively, because it reminds us that people used these streets every day. They walked to work, visited neighbors, carried supplies, returned home at dusk. Their lives unfolded here in ways that feel surprisingly familiar. One of the most fascinating places in Pompeii is its bakeries. Imagine entering one during the early hours of the morning. The scent of bread fills the air. Large grinding stones stand nearby. Workers move steadily through their tasks. Flour gathers on surfaces. Ovens radiate warmth. Bread is not a luxury. It is part of daily life, and because so much of Pompeii was preserved, archaeologists have even discovered loaves of bread that survived through the centuries. The result feels almost intimate. A simple loaf becomes a bridge across time. Someone mixed the ingredients, someone shaped the dough, someone placed it into an oven. And thousands of years later, traces of that ordinary act still remain. This reminds us that history often survives through the smallest things, not only through palaces and temples, but through meals, tools, furniture, clothing, the objects people used every day. Imagine walking into a home. Sunlight enters through an open courtyard. Water gathers in a small pool. Rooms branch outward from the central space. Paintings decorate walls. Furniture occupies corners. The house feels lived in. Comfortable, human. Many such homes have been preserved well enough to reveal details about daily routines. Some belonged to wealthy families. Others were more modest. Yet all of them contribute to the same larger picture. A city filled with people living their lives. What makes this fascinating is how much personality remains visible. Walls sometimes carried messages and drawings. Visitors left comments. Residents expressed opinions. Jokes appeared. Announcements were written. Today we often call these markings graffiti, yet they reveal something timeless. Across centuries, people have shared the same desire to leave a small trace of themselves behind. Imagine walking down a street and seeing writing on a wall, someone promoting a business, someone sharing a thought, someone making a joke that has long since lost its context. The words survive, the author does not, and yet the human impulse feels instantly recognizable. Across centuries, people remain people. The preservation extends beyond buildings and writing. Frescoes still decorate walls. Colors remain visible. Scenes from daily life, mythology, and imagination continue to emerge from ancient rooms. Imagine a painter carefully applying pigments to fresh plaster. The work requires patience, attention, skill. The painter cannot know that future generations will one day admire these images. The painting is created for the present moment, yet somehow it survives into the distant future. The evidence still survives today. Not perfectly, not completely, but enough to allow us brief glimpses into another world. And perhaps that is what makes preserved cities so moving. They reduce the distance between past and present. The people no longer seem distant. They begin to feel familiar, as though they have only recently stepped outside. Pompeii is not the only place where history was preserved in this way. Nearby settlements such as Herculaneum offer their own remarkable insights. Imagine a town resting beside the sea. Boats move gently across the water. Homes overlook the coastline. Shops serve local residents. Life follows familiar rhythms. Then, over time, the town becomes sealed beneath layers of volcanic material. The result is tragic for those who lived through it. Yet from the perspective of history, something unexpected occurs. The very forces that ended daily life also protect evidence of that life. Wooden objects survive, doors remain, Furniture endures. Details that would normally disappear are preserved. This is one of history's quiet paradoxes. Time occasionally works in unexpected ways. What ends one chapter may quietly protect another. Imagine opening a room centuries later and finding objects still resting where they were left. A wooden chest, a household tool, a piece of furniture. These items were never intended to become historical artifacts. They were simply useful possessions. Yet, because they survived, they tell stories that grand monuments cannot. They tell us how people actually lived. Picture a family gathering for an evening meal. The conversation is ordinary. The concerns are ordinary. Plans are made for tomorrow. Children listen to older relatives. Food is shared. Nothing about the moment seems historically important. And yet those moments are the foundation of every civilization. Rulers may shape events, yet ordinary evenings quietly shape the world around them. Cities frozen in time help us remember that. What makes preservation so powerful is that it captures human scale. A doorway tells us how tall people were. A bed tells us how they rested. A kitchen tells us what they ate. A toy tells us how children played. The smallest details become meaningful. Imagine finding a worn object handled by countless fingers. Its surface has been smoothed through years of use. No written record explains its importance, yet the object itself quietly reveals a story of repetition and familiarity, a story of everyday life. Over time, many cities vanish without leaving such detailed evidence behind. Wood decays, cloth disappears, food leaves little trace. The ordinary world often fades first. That is why preserved cities are so valuable. They allow us to see not only monuments but routines, not only rulers but residents, not only history but life. As evening settles over Pompeii in our imagination, let us walk once more through its streets. The shops are closing. The day's heat is fading. Voices drift through open doorways. The smell of cooking rises into the air. Lamps begin to glow. Families gather indoors. Tomorrow appears certain. Predictable, normal. No one knows that future generations will one day study these streets. No one knows that traces of their city will survive for thousands of years. Yet that is precisely what happened. And because it happened, we are able to glimpse a world that would otherwise have been lost. This reminds us of a gentle truth about history. Preservation often arrives in unexpected ways. A wall survives. A loaf of bread survives. A piece of furniture survives. A message written on plaster survives. Together, these fragments become something larger, a portrait of human life. Not perfect, not complete, but remarkably vivid. And perhaps that is the lasting lesson of cities frozen in time. We often think of destruction as the opposite of memory, yet history sometimes follows a more complicated path. The very events that brought an end to daily life also protected traces of it. Rooms remained sealed, objects remained undisturbed, moments remained suspended. The result is a remarkable gift to the future, a chance to walk quietly through ancient streets, to see bakeries, homes, workshops, and paintings, to encounter ordinary people through the traces they left behind, and to remember that sometimes, in the strange and patient workings of time, destruction becomes a guardian of memory. As our journey continues, let us turn toward a continent whose history is far richer, more varied, and more connected than many older stories once suggested. Tonight, we will travel across southern savannas, inland trade routes, coral-built coastal cities, desert caravan roads, and centers of learning where scholars studied by the light of oil lamps. We will visit places that were never truly forgotten by the people who lived near them, yet for a long time remained overlooked in many parts of the wider world. Their stories deserve to be told slowly, patiently, and with respect. Imagine standing at sunrise on a high plateau in southern Africa. The air is fresh, grasslands stretch toward distant hills, birds move through the morning sky. Scattered among the landscape are stone walls unlike anything nearby. Not rough barriers built in haste, not defensive fortifications alone, but carefully crafted structures made from thousands upon thousands of stones fitted together without mortar. This is Great Zimbabwe, one of Africa's most remarkable ancient cities. Imagine approaching its great stone enclosures. The walls rise from the earth in graceful curves. Some reach impressive heights. The stones seem almost woven together, each placed carefully, each contributing to a larger design. Perhaps the most remarkable aspect is not only the scale of the construction, it is the patience required to create it. Imagine a builder lifting a stone into place. Then, another, and another. The work continues quietly through the seasons, each small effort becoming part of something larger, day after day, year after year, generation after generation. The walls slowly grow, not through sudden effort, but through steady commitment. The evidence still survives today. The walls remain among the most extraordinary examples of stone craftsmanship anywhere in the ancient world. Yet, Great Zimbabwe was more than architecture. It was a thriving center of trade and community. Imagine walking through the city during an ordinary afternoon. Families move between homes. Artisans shape metal and pottery. Merchants discuss goods arriving from distant regions. Cattle graze nearby. Life unfolds beneath the wide African sky. The city connected local communities with much larger trade networks. Gold, ivory, and other valuable goods traveled outward. Objects from distant lands traveled inward. The result was a world far more interconnected than many people imagine. It is a quiet reminder that people have been connected across great distances for far longer than we sometimes imagine. Long before modern transportation, ideas and goods moved between regions through networks built on trust, knowledge, and experience. Among the most remarkable discoveries associated with this wider world is a small object known as the golden rhino of Mapungubwe. Imagine a skilled artisan carefully shaping thin sheets of gold. The work requires concentration, steady hands, patience. The finished object is not large, yet its significance is immense. The golden rhinoceros became one of the most famous symbols of an early southern African kingdom that flourished centuries before Great Zimbabwe reached its height. Mapungubwe itself stood on a hill overlooking important trade routes. Picture the settlement at sunset. The landscape glows with warm colors. The river valleys below stretch toward the horizon. Travelers arrive bearing goods from distant places. Leaders meet. Communities gather. The kingdom prospers. What makes this fascinating is how much influence could emerge from locations that modern maps often overlook. History is not only shaped by famous capitals, it is also shaped by places that serve as bridges between worlds. Mapungubwe was one such bridge, and from it, traditions of trade, leadership, and craftsmanship helped shape the region that followed. As evening falls over southern Africa, let us now travel eastward toward the coast. The landscape changes. Warm ocean winds replace inland breezes. Palm trees sway gently. The scent of salt fills the air. Ahead, coral stone buildings rise beside the sea. We have arrived in the world of the Swahili coast. Imagine standing in a harbor city centuries ago. The tide moves slowly against the shore. Wooden ships rest in sheltered waters. Merchants speak multiple languages. Goods are unloaded from distant lands. The city feels gently animated by the steady rhythm of trade and travel. Yet the movement is calm, steady, predictable, because it follows the rhythm of the monsoon winds. The monsoons were among the great natural engines of Indian Ocean trade. For generations, sailors learned when the winds would shift. They planned journeys accordingly. One season carried ships in one direction, another season carried them back. Imagine a captain studying the sky, watching the sea, waiting for favorable winds. The knowledge passes from one generation to another. The result is a maritime world connected by memory, observation, and experience. Among the most famous cities of this coastal network was Kilwa. Imagine approaching it from the sea. White coral buildings catch the sunlight. Mosques rise above the shoreline. The harbor welcomes vessels from across the Indian Ocean. The city prospers through trade. Gold arrives from the African interior. Textiles arrive from Asia. Ceramics arrive from distant workshops. The marketplace becomes a meeting place for cultures, languages, and traditions. What makes Kilwa remarkable is how naturally these connections became part of daily life. Imagine a merchant discussing prices with a traveler from another land. Neither finds the encounter unusual. Such exchanges happen regularly. The city thrives because people from different places can meet, communicate, and cooperate. The result is a society shaped by both local traditions and international connections. This reminds us that cultures often grow richer through exchange. The movement of goods frequently carries ideas alongside them. Architecture changes, languages evolve, new customs emerge, yet local identity remains strong. The Swahili cities demonstrate this beautifully. Their culture developed through centuries of interaction while retaining its own distinct character. Picture an evening along the coast. The day's trade is ending. Boats rock gently in the harbor. The call to prayer drifts through the air. Palm leaves move softly in the ocean breeze. The city settles into night. And somewhere beyond the horizon, other ships prepare for journeys guided by the same winds. From the coast, let us now travel northward, far beyond the grasslands, beyond forests, beyond rivers, toward the great deserts of Africa. At first, the landscape appears empty. Sand stretches across immense distances. The sky feels endless. Yet for centuries, this desert was crossed by caravans linking distant regions together. Imagine a caravan moving slowly across the Sahara. Camels carry goods through the heat. Guides navigate using experience accumulated over many journeys. The pace is unhurried. Steady, patient days pass. Then weeks. Eventually a city appears on the horizon. Not a mirage. A real destination. A center of learning, trade, and culture. This is Timbuktu. Perhaps no African city has inspired more legends. Yet the reality is just as fascinating as the stories. Imagine arriving in Timbuktu during its flourishing years. The streets are busy. Markets operate throughout the day. Scholars gather to discuss ideas. Students study texts. Teachers share knowledge accumulated over generations. Yet Timbuktu was known for more than trade. It also became a place where knowledge was carefully gathered, shared, and preserved. The city became one of the great centers of learning in the Islamic world. Books traveled across deserts. Knowledge traveled with them. Imagine a scholar carefully copying a manuscript by hand. The work requires concentration. Each page takes time. Mistakes must be avoided. The process is slow. Yet through such efforts, knowledge survives. Over the centuries, collections of manuscripts accumulated in homes, libraries, and places of learning. Together, they preserved generations of thought, observation, and scholarship. They covered subjects ranging from law and theology to astronomy, mathematics, poetry, and history. This reminds us that cities are not built only from stone. They are also built from ideas. A manuscript can shape history just as surely as a wall. A teacher can influence future generations as profoundly as a ruler. The evidence still survives today. Many manuscripts remain preserved, offering glimpses into centuries of scholarship. Imagine holding such a manuscript. Its pages have traveled through time. Its words have survived political changes, environmental challenges, and the passing of generations. The connection feels almost intimate, a conversation between distant minds. As night settles over Timbuktu, let us picture one final scene. The markets have grown quiet. The desert air cools, stars fill the sky. Inside a modest room, a lamp burns softly. A scholar bends over a manuscript. The light flickers across the page. Outside, the city rests. Inside, knowledge continues its journey. The image feels peaceful and fitting, because the forgotten kingdoms and cities of Africa remind us of something important. History is often far more connected than we first assume. Stone walls in the south, golden craftsmanship on a hilltop kingdom, coral-built cities along the coast, ships guided by monsoon winds, caravans crossing deserts, libraries filled with manuscripts. Each forms part of a larger story, a story of trade, of creativity, of learning, of human connection across immense distances. The cities may have changed. Some became ruins, some declined, some were transformed by time, yet their influence endured. The walls still stand, the manuscripts still survive, the winds still cross the ocean, the desert still stretches toward the horizon, and somewhere in our imagination, a scholar in Timbuktu continues reading quietly beneath the glow of a lamp, preserving knowledge for generations yet to come. By now, our journey has carried us through deserts, mountains, forests, and forgotten valleys. We have wandered along ancient roads and stood among silent ruins. We have watched cities disappear beneath vines, beneath drifting sands, and beneath the slow passage of time itself. Yet there is another place where traces of forgotten worlds quietly remain. Not beneath forests, not beneath deserts, but beneath water. Tonight, let us move slowly into that quieter world. Picture a calm sea at dawn. The surface is smooth. Gentle waves rise and fall. Sunlight glitters across the water in countless tiny reflections. From above, nothing seems unusual. Nothing suggests that streets, temples, homes, and harbors may rest far below. And yet, in many parts of the world, entire pieces of human history now lie beneath rivers, lakes, and oceans. One of the most striking qualities of these underwater worlds is their sense of calm. A ruined city hidden within a jungle can feel wild. A city beneath the sea feels still, almost dreamlike. The water softens everything. Sharp edges fade. Colors become muted. Sound disappears. The result is a world that seems suspended somewhere between memory and sleep. Imagine descending slowly through clear blue water. The sunlight follows you downward. Fish move quietly through shafts of light. The surface grows distant, and then gradually shapes begin to appear. Not natural shapes, human shapes. A wall, a staircase, a row of stones placed long ago by careful hands. An ancient street emerging from the darkness below. For the people who built these places, the sea may once have been far away. Shorelines may seem permanent, yet they change slowly across the centuries. Over long stretches of time, shorelines move. Land rises, land sinks, rivers deposit sediment, storms reshape beaches. The boundary between land and water is always changing, even if those changes happen too slowly for a single lifetime to notice. A harbor bustling with ships may one day become an underwater archaeological site. A marketplace beside the shore may eventually rest beneath waves. The people who lived there could never have imagined such a future. And yet, the earth is patient. The sea is patient as well. Together they slowly redraw maps. One remarkable example can be found in the ancient Egyptian city of Thonis Heracleion. For centuries, stories spoke of a great port near the mouth of the Nile. Merchants arrived there, sailors passed through its harbors, temples welcomed travelers from distant lands. Over time, however, the city vanished from ordinary view. Many people wondered whether the stories had been exaggerated. Some questioned whether such a place had truly existed at all. Yet the story did not end there. Many centuries later, researchers exploring the coastal waters began uncovering new clues. Not a single artifact, not merely a few stones, but the remains of an entire city. Imagine the quiet excitement of seeing a massive statue resting on the seabed. Imagine temple walls lying beneath layers of sand. Imagine discovering anchors, pottery, and monuments that had not seen sunlight for centuries. The city had not disappeared completely. It had quietly passed from the land into the sea. The sea had become its new guardian. And what a gentle guardian it can be. Fish swim through doorways once crossed by merchants. Sea plants grow where crowds once gathered. Schools of silverfish drift over streets that once echoed with conversation. The result is strangely beautiful. Human history and nature sharing the same space. In that sense, underwater ruins remind us that the world is never truly empty. Every place eventually becomes part of a larger story. Far from Egypt, another underwater world rests near the coast of India. For generations, local traditions spoke of ancient cities connected to the sea. Legends and memories survived through stories passed from one generation to the next. Much later, underwater investigations revealed structures and artifacts beneath coastal waters. As often happens with ancient sites, questions remain. As with many ancient places, some questions remain open, and new discoveries continue to add to the story. New discoveries continue to appear. Yet the broader picture remains fascinating. Beneath familiar waves, traces of earlier communities still survive. This reminds us of something we encountered near the beginning of our journey. A city can disappear from maps without disappearing from memory. Sometimes stories endure long after buildings have vanished. Sometimes local traditions preserve echoes of places that outsiders overlook, and occasionally those stories guide researchers back to forgotten worlds. Imagine standing on a shoreline thousands of years ago. Children run along the beach. Fishing boats return with the day's catch. Smoke rises from cooking fires. The sea seems stable and permanent. Yet over centuries, coastlines shift. The familiar shoreline slowly changes. Generation after generation adapts without fully noticing the transformation. Eventually, the sea occupies ground that was once dry land. The old city becomes part of the underwater landscape. The process is gradual, almost gentle. Another remarkable underwater site can be found near Alexandria in Egypt. The ancient city remains famous for its scholars, libraries, and bustling harbors. Over long periods of time, earthquakes and geological changes affected portions of the coastline. Sections of the ancient world slipped beneath the water. Today, divers can encounter fragments of that lost landscape. Picture enormous stone blocks resting quietly below. Columns lie scattered across the seabed. Statues appear through shifting clouds of sand. The water muffles every sound. The scene feels less like an excavation and more like a dream preserved beneath the sea. For underwater archaeologists, exploration requires patience. Visibility changes, currents shift, sand moves constantly. A monument visible today may be partially buried tomorrow. The sea reveals and conceals at its own pace. This matters because underwater discoveries often challenge our assumptions. We sometimes imagine the ancient world as distant and unreachable. Yet a diver may swim above an ancient road. A researcher may touch a stone last handled by someone who lived thousands of years ago. The connection feels surprisingly close. History becomes something tangible, something almost personal. Imagine following an ancient street beneath clear water. The route curves gently forward. Fish dart between fallen stones. Fragments of pottery rest where they were dropped long ago. Perhaps a merchant once carried goods along this path. Perhaps a child hurried home before sunset. Perhaps someone paused to watch ships arriving from distant lands. The names have vanished. The voices are silent, yet traces remain. And those traces allow us to imagine lives that would otherwise be forgotten. Not all underwater cities were submerged by changing coastlines. Some disappeared beneath reservoirs created in more recent times. When dams are built, valleys sometimes fill with water. Villages, churches, roads, and historic structures may become submerged. During dry years, fragments sometimes emerge once more. Walls appear. Foundations become visible. Bell towers rise quietly above the water. Old walls emerge from receding water. Bell towers rise above the surface. Foundations become visible once again. For a brief time, the past returns. Then the water rises, and the ruins fade once more beneath the surface. There is something deeply reflective about these places. They remind us that landscapes are never fixed. The world changes continually, sometimes slowly, sometimes unexpectedly. Human settlements adapt, move, vanish, and reappear. Yet beneath those changes, memory persists. Perhaps that is why underwater ruins hold such fascination. They combine mystery with tranquility. Unlike dramatic tales of conquest or conflict, these places often feel peaceful. They rest quietly where history left them, waiting, not demanding attention, simply existing. Imagine drifting above an ancient temple floor. Small fish weave through carved stone. Sunlight ripples across pillars below. The sea moves gently overhead. Everything feels suspended. Everything feels calm. The people who built the temple are gone. The empire that governed them has faded. Languages have changed. Borders have changed. The shoreline itself has changed. Yet the stones remain. Patient, silent, enduring, and somewhere beneath countless oceans around the world, other stories may still be waiting. Other harbors, other streets, other forgotten communities. The sea covers most of our planet. Much of its history remains unexplored. Somewhere beneath those waters, other stories may still remain. Other harbors, other streets, other forgotten communities waiting quietly beneath layers of sand. What memories remain hidden beneath layers of sand? No one knows for certain, and perhaps that uncertainty is part of the wonder. As our journey continues, we can leave these underwater streets behind for now. The fish continue their quiet paths. The currents continue their slow movement. The statues remain resting where they have rested for centuries. And beneath the gentle rhythm of the waves, entire chapters of human history continue to sleep, waiting patiently beneath the water. As we continue our quiet journey through the lost cities of the ancient world, we arrive at a place where history and imagination often walk side by side. Some were built from stone, some from timber, and some, in a way, were built from memory itself. The human mind has always been drawn toward distant places, toward hidden kingdoms, toward forgotten treasures, toward cities that exist just beyond the horizon. Perhaps this is because every generation understands that things can be lost. People lose homes, families lose memories, civilizations lose buildings, and over time, entire worlds can slip beyond ordinary sight. When this happens, stories often step in to fill the empty spaces. Tonight, let us wander slowly through a few of those places where myth meets reality. Not to prove anything, not to solve every mystery, but simply to explore the remarkable relationship between ruins, memory, and imagination. Let us begin with a city whose story survived long before its ruins were identified. The city of Troy. For many centuries, Troy lived primarily within poems. Its most famous appearance came through ancient tales of heroes, voyages, battles, and long journeys home. Generations listened to these stories. Children learned them. Poets repeated them. Travelers carried them from place to place. As the centuries passed, people began quietly asking the same question. Had Troy truly existed? Or had the city become inseparable from the stories told about it? Perhaps it was only a literary creation. Perhaps it belonged entirely to legend. It is easy to understand why people asked such questions. Stories have a way of growing. A real place can become larger in memory than it ever was in life. A modest city can become the setting for extraordinary adventures. Over time, fact and imagination become difficult to separate. Then, during the 19th century, excavations began in what is now northwestern Turkey. Researchers uncovered evidence of an ancient settlement. Then another, and another, layer upon layer. The discovery revealed something fascinating. The discoveries revealed something unexpected. Beneath the hill rested not one city, but many. One generation built, another rebuilt, and another followed after that. Cities had been built, destroyed, rebuilt, expanded, and rebuilt again. Each generation left traces behind. Imagine standing on a hill overlooking the landscape. At first glance, it appears ordinary. Yet beneath your feet lie centuries of human effort. One city resting upon another, and another beneath that. Each layer represents people who woke in the morning, prepared meals, repaired walls, traded goods, raised children, and watched the seasons change. The stories may focus on kings and heroes. The earth remembers everyone. The most enduring part of Troy's story may not be the question of what happened exactly. It is the realization that memories of real places can survive inside stories. Rather, it is the realization that stories can preserve memories of real places. The memory changes, the details shift, the tale grows larger, yet somewhere within the story, a city remains, waiting to be found again. In that sense, Troy reminds us that myths are not always inventions. Sometimes they are echoes that survive long after buildings disappear. Not far from the idea of Troy lies another enduring tradition: the search for hidden treasure. Throughout history, stories of buried wealth have accompanied tales of lost cities. A ruined wall becomes a clue, a forgotten cave becomes a possibility, a weathered inscription becomes the beginning of a new legend. People have always wondered what might still be hidden beneath the earth. Imagine a traveler hearing a story beside a fire. Someone speaks of a vanished city. Another person mentions gold. Soon the story spreads. The city becomes richer, the treasure becomes larger. Each retelling adds another layer. Over time, the legend acquires a life of its own. This process appears again and again throughout history. A real place inspires a story. The story inspires curiosity. Curiosity inspires exploration. And exploration sometimes leads back to reality. Yet there is perhaps no lost city legend more famous than Atlantis. Even today, thousands of years after the story first appeared, people continue to discuss it, to imagine it, to search for it. The story originated in writings associated with the ancient Greek philosopher Plato. He described a powerful island civilization that eventually disappeared beneath the sea. The account has fascinated readers ever since. Part of Atlantis's enduring appeal lies in the image itself. It is the image itself, a city swallowed by water, a civilization lost beneath the waves, a magnificent world vanishing from sight. There is something deeply memorable about such an idea. Picture a distant island, harbors filled with ships, temples shining in the sunlight, gardens and marketplaces alive with activity. Then imagine centuries passing, the city fading from memory, the sea becoming its only witness. Whether Atlantis was intended as history, philosophy, symbolism, or something else entirely has been debated for generations. Yet the story continues to endure. And perhaps that endurance tells us something important. People are drawn to Atlantis not because they necessarily expect to find it. They are drawn to it because it represents possibility. The possibility that forgotten worlds remain hidden. The possibility that the past still contains mysteries. The possibility that human knowledge is incomplete. In that sense, Atlantis functions almost like a mirror. Each generation sees something different within it. Some see history, some see warning, some see adventure, some see hope. The mystery itself becomes part of the attraction. Beyond the oceans, another famous legend emerged from the forests and mountains of South America. Unlike Atlantis, which described a city beneath the sea, this legend centered upon wealth, immense wealth. The story became known as El Dorado. Today, many people think of El Dorado as a lost city of gold, yet the legend evolved gradually. Its earliest forms were more closely connected to stories about rituals and rulers. Over time, however, the tale expanded. A ruler became a kingdom became a city became a dream. Explorers crossed rivers, traveled through forests, climbed mountains, and endured extraordinary hardships while searching for something that seemed forever just out of reach. Imagine paddling along a vast river at dawn. Mist rises from the water. Bird calls echo through distant trees. The forest stretches beyond sight. Somewhere ahead, people whisper, a magnificent city waits. Perhaps just beyond the next bend. Perhaps beyond the next mountain. Perhaps farther still. The remarkable thing is not whether such a city existed exactly as described. The remarkable thing is how powerful the idea became. Entire journeys were inspired by it. Entire expeditions were organized because of it. The legend transformed landscapes into possibilities, and possibilities into destinations. Like Atlantis and Troy, El Dorado reveals something about human nature. People do not merely search for cities. They search for meaning, for wonder, for discovery, for the hope that something extraordinary remains hidden. The stories themselves become part of the journey. This reminds us that myths are often built from familiar materials. A real ruin, a distant mountain, a forgotten road, a memory passed through generations, a fragment of truth. Combined together, they create narratives that survive far longer than stone. Imagine an old ruin standing alone beneath the evening sky. Perhaps local people know its history. Perhaps they do not. A traveler arrives. Questions are asked. Answers are incomplete. Soon speculation begins. Over decades, speculation becomes tradition. Tradition becomes legend. Legend becomes folklore. And eventually, the story travels farther than the ruin itself ever could. This process has happened many times, across continents, across centuries, across cultures. Lost cities occupy a unique place within these stories because they sit perfectly between reality and imagination. Unlike entirely fictional places, lost cities often have roots in the real world. Unlike ordinary historical sites, they retain an element of mystery. The combination is powerful. A ruined wall invites questions. An abandoned road suggests forgotten journeys. A buried temple hints at forgotten beliefs. The gaps encourage imagination, and imagination fills those gaps with stories. Yet stories and evidence do not always move in opposite directions. Sometimes they help one another. A story points toward a location. A location reveals evidence. Evidence inspires new stories. The conversation continues. Neither side completely replaces the other. Instead, they become intertwined. Consider how many discoveries began because someone listened carefully to local traditions. A tale remembered by elders. A place name preserved through generations. A story attached to a hill, river, or forest. The details may change over time, yet memory often survives in unexpected ways. The result is a world where myths and ruins occasionally meet, where stories preserve traces of history, and where history sometimes strengthens stories. As evening settles across our journey, imagine standing among ancient stones once more. The air is cool, the sky is growing darker. Somewhere nearby, a storyteller begins speaking. Perhaps the tale concerns a city beneath the sea. Perhaps it concerns a kingdom of gold. Perhaps it tells of heroes walking through gates long vanished. The listeners gather close, the story unfolds, and for a moment, the lost city lives again. Not in stone, not in maps, but in memory. Because every generation creates its own vision of a lost city. Some imagine hidden temples beneath jungles. Some imagine forgotten kingdoms beneath deserts. Some imagine cities beneath oceans. Others imagine worlds yet to be discovered. The details change. The longing remains. And perhaps that is why these stories endure. They remind us that the world is larger than our maps, that history contains unanswered questions, that memory can outlast monuments, and that somewhere between fact and imagination, wonder continues to live. As we leave these legendary places behind, the stories remain quietly with us, like distant lights on a far horizon, not demanding answers, simply inviting reflection. And in that gentle space between certainty and mystery, lost cities continue their long journey through human imagination. Human beings have found many ways to create places called home. Some rise beside rivers, some spread across plains, some follow coastlines and harbors, and some appear in places where we might least expect them. Tonight, as our journey continues, let us visit communities that adapted to unusual landscapes and created remarkable places to live, not through vast palaces or towering monuments, but through careful observation, cooperation, and patience. These are stories of people shaping their homes to fit the world around them. Let us begin among the cliffs of the American Southwest. Imagine standing before a canyon in the early morning. The air is cool. The sky is pale with the first light of day. High above the canyon floor, natural alcoves shelter clusters of stone buildings tucked beneath overhanging cliffs. At first glance, they appear as though they have always belonged there. The homes appear to emerge directly from the rock itself. This is Mesa Verde. Today, visitors often admire the architecture, yet what makes the place truly fascinating is that it was once an ordinary community. Children woke up here, meals were prepared here, conversations drifted through the air, people carried water, repaired walls, and watched the changing seasons from the edges of the cliffs. Imagine climbing a wooden ladder toward one of these homes. Below, the valley stretches into the distance. Above, protective rock shelters provide shade and security. The climb requires effort, but it also offers a remarkable view of the surrounding landscape. The people who lived here understood their environment deeply. They understood where winter sunlight lingered, where rainwater gathered, where shelter could be found from wind and weather. They knew how to use stone, wood, and earth to create durable homes. The result was a community carefully woven into the landscape itself. Perhaps the most striking feature is how naturally the architecture fits its surroundings. The buildings do not dominate the cliffs. Instead, they seem to belong there. Stone walls echo the colors of the surrounding rock. Doorways and rooms fit comfortably within natural formations. Human effort and natural geography work together. In that sense, Mesa Verde reminds us that successful cities are often partnerships between people and place. Imagine a quiet evening centuries ago. Smoke rises gently from cooking fires. Families gather together after a day's work. The canyon walls glow orange beneath the setting sun. Voices echo softly through the alcoves. The scene feels peaceful. The evidence still survives today. Rooms remain, walls remain, windows still frame distant views, and through those remains, we can glimpse ordinary lives lived in extraordinary surroundings. Beyond the cliff dwellings, another type of community flourished across the landscapes of North America. This time, not among cliffs, but upon broad river valleys. There, large earthworks gradually rose from the ground. At first, they might appear natural. Small hills, gentle elevations. Yet these mounds were carefully constructed by human hands. One of the most remarkable examples was Cahokia. Imagine approaching the settlement many centuries ago. The land stretches wide beneath the sky. Fields surround the community. Wooden houses stand in neighborhoods connected by pathways and open spaces, and above them all rises an enormous earthen mound. The scale would have been impressive. The scale was impressive not because of rare materials, but because of the patient effort required to create it, but because countless baskets of earth had been carried, lifted, and placed by generations of workers. The mound grew slowly, year after year, layer after layer. The result was a landscape shaped through collective effort. What makes Cahokia particularly fascinating is that it reminds us how many different forms a city can take. When many of us picture a city, we imagine streets lined with buildings. Cahokia followed a different path. Yet Cahokia was a thriving urban center built according to entirely different traditions. Its planners worked with earth rather than stone. Open spaces mattered. Ceremonial areas mattered. Community gathering places mattered. The city reflected its own culture and environment. Imagine walking through one of its neighborhoods. People prepare food outside their homes. Children play nearby. Craft workers shape tools and ornaments. Farmers return from surrounding fields. Life unfolds through countless small routines. As with every city we have visited on this journey, the story is ultimately about people. The monuments remain important, but the daily lives matter just as much. Without those ordinary lives, no city can truly exist. Another remarkable feature associated with Cahokia was a structure sometimes called a wooden calendar. Large wooden posts were arranged carefully within an open area. These wooden markers helped people follow the passing seasons and the quiet rhythm of the year. Imagine standing among them at sunrise. The horizon glows softly. The position of the sun aligns with familiar markers. The changing year becomes visible through observation. For agricultural communities, such knowledge was valuable. The rhythm of planting and harvesting depended upon understanding seasonal change. This reminds us that cities are not isolated creations. They remain connected to wider natural cycles. The people of Cahokia watched the sky. The residents of Mesa Verde watched the cliffs and valleys around them. Both communities paid close attention to the environments that supported them, and that attention helped them thrive. As centuries passed, however, these places changed. Over the generations, communities changed. Some people moved elsewhere. New patterns of life gradually emerged. The reasons were often complex. Rarely does a single explanation tell the entire story, yet the physical traces remained. The cliff dwellings endured. The great earthworks endured. And long after the original residents were gone, later generations continued to encounter these places. Imagine discovering one of these sites for the first time. Perhaps you are traveling across the landscape. Suddenly you notice walls tucked beneath a cliff, or a great mound rising from an otherwise level plain. Questions naturally come to mind. Who lived here? What did daily life look like? What conversations filled these spaces? The ruins cannot answer directly, yet they invite curiosity, and curiosity becomes a bridge between past and present. What makes these places especially moving is their strong connection to community. Many ancient cities are remembered through rulers, dynasties, or military achievements. Mesa Verde and Cahokia encourage us to think differently. They encourage us to notice neighborhoods, families, farmers, builders, children, the countless individuals whose names have disappeared, but whose efforts shaped entire landscapes. Imagine a mother carrying water through a cliff dwelling. Imagine a farmer walking toward fields outside Cahokia. Imagine neighbors gathering together during a seasonal celebration. These moments may seem small, yet cities are built from small moments. Thousands upon thousands of them. A city is not merely its buildings. It is the people who fill those buildings with life. In that sense, every lost city shares a common story. Stone walls differ, languages differ, beliefs differ, yet people continue to gather, cooperate, create, and adapt. The details change. The pattern remains. As evening settles over our journey, let us take one final look at these remarkable communities. The cliffs of Mesa Verde stand quietly beneath the fading light. The great mounds of Cahokia rest beneath an open sky. Wind moves gently through grasses. Cloud shadows drift across the landscape. The plazas are empty now. The ladders are gone. The voices have faded. Yet traces remain, patient and enduring, waiting for curious travelers to pause and reflect. And beneath changing skies, those ancient neighborhoods continue to remind us that remarkable cities are not defined solely by wealth or size. They are defined by people finding ways to belong within the world around them. That memory, like the cities themselves, has endured. There is a particular kind of silence that belongs to the jungle. It is not an empty silence. It is a living one. Leaves rustle high above. Birds call from distant branches. Insects hum softly among roots and vines. The forest seems constantly alive, even when it appears still. And deep within that green world, hidden for centuries beneath layers of vegetation, stand some of the most remarkable cities ever built. Tonight, let us wander slowly through the great Maya cities, not as explorers searching for lost treasures, not as archaeologists clearing away vines, but as quiet visitors, walking gently through places that once echoed with daily life. Imagine arriving at sunrise. A pale mist lingers between the trees. The air feels cool before the heat of the day begins to gather. Birdsong drifts through the canopy. Then, gradually, a shape emerges from the forest. At first it appears to be a hill, yet as the light grows stronger, straight lines become visible. Stone steps, terraces, walls, a pyramid rising above the jungle. This is Tikal, one of the greatest cities of the Maya world. Today, enormous trees surround the ruins. Branches stretch across the sky. Roots twist through ancient stones. Yet there was a time when this landscape looked very different. The city was alive with movement. Roads connected districts. Markets welcomed traders. Families prepared meals. Craft workers shaped stone, wood, and clay. Children learned the customs of their community. The great temples dominated the skyline, but ordinary life filled the spaces between them. Imagine standing in one of the city's plazas. The morning sun climbs slowly into the sky. People cross open spaces carrying baskets and tools. Merchants prepare goods for trade. The scent of cooking food drifts through the air. Voices rise and fall in conversation. The city feels vibrant and active. One of the most remarkable aspects of Tikal is the surrounding jungle can make the ruins appear isolated today. Yet, centuries ago, this was part of a much larger network of settlements connected across the landscape. Roads linked distant communities. Travelers carried news from one settlement to another. Goods moved steadily through the landscape. The wider world felt closer than we might imagine. Ideas spread from one place to another. The forest that now conceals so much of the Maya world once contained a remarkable web of human activity. This reminds us of something we have encountered throughout our journey. Lost cities often seem remote, only because time has changed the landscape around them. The people who lived there rarely considered themselves isolated. They were connected to neighbors, trading partners, and distant communities. Their world was larger than we sometimes imagine. Among the most impressive features of Maya cities were the raised roads that linked important locations. These carefully constructed routes crossed difficult terrain and connected settlements across considerable distances. Imagine walking along one of these roads many centuries ago. The path stretches forward through forests and open spaces. Travelers pass in both directions. Some carry goods. Some deliver messages. Others visit relatives or attend ceremonies. The road serves as a thread connecting many communities together. Over time, forests reclaimed these routes. Trees grew. Soil accumulated. The roads disappeared beneath vegetation. Yet traces remained. And modern technology has helped reveal many of them once again. In recent years, researchers using airborne scanning techniques have discovered evidence of extensive networks hidden beneath jungle canopies. From above, invisible cities began to emerge. Roads appeared. Terraces appeared. Neighborhoods appeared. Gradually, a larger picture began to emerge. Imagine a researcher examining newly gathered data. What seemed to be untouched forest suddenly reveals patterns, straight lines, geometric shapes, entire landscapes shaped by human effort. The jungle had hidden these places remarkably well. Yet the cities had never truly vanished. They had simply become difficult to see. What makes this fascinating is how nature and memory often interact. The forest concealed the cities. At the same time, it protected many of them. The jungle became both curtain and guardian. As we continue through the Maya world, let us pause beside one of its most intriguing spaces, the ball court. Across many Maya cities, specially designed courts hosted a game that carried social, cultural, and symbolic importance. Imagine entering such a court on a warm afternoon. Spectators gather nearby. The stone walls rise on either side. Players prepare carefully. The event draws attention from the surrounding community. Some details remain uncertain even today, yet the courts themselves survive. Silent spaces where people once gathered together. What matters most for our journey is not every rule of the game. It is the realization that cities require shared experiences. Communities are built through rituals, celebrations, gatherings, and traditions. The ball courts remind us that urban life is about more than buildings. It is also about human connection. Among the many names preserved within Maya inscriptions, one still stands out today. Pakal. His story survives partly because of inscriptions and monuments that preserved memories across centuries. This is one reason Maya cities continue to fascinate historians. Across the Maya world, countless inscriptions were carved into stone. Together, they carried names, memories, and stories across the centuries. Names survived, events survived, family histories survived. The inscriptions became messages carried across time. Imagine a stone carver at work, carefully shaping symbols, patiently recording information meant to endure. The task requires concentration and skill. The finished inscription may stand for generations. Long after the carver is gone, future readers continue to encounter those carefully crafted signs. What makes this remarkable is that many ancient civilizations left fewer written records than we might expect. The Maya, by contrast, preserved an abundance of information. Their monuments became voices speaking across centuries, and scholars continue to learn from them today. Yet even with all this knowledge, mysteries remain. That is part of the enduring appeal of the Maya world. The more we learn, the more questions emerge. Why did some major cities experience population decline? Why were certain centers eventually abandoned? How did communities adapt to changing conditions? There is rarely a single answer. Human societies are complex. Environmental pressures matter. Political changes matter. Economic conditions matter. Cultural decisions matter. The story is seldom simple. Perhaps that complexity itself is worth remembering. History often resists neat explanations. Real communities are shaped by many influences at once. The Maya cities were no different. Imagine a family living during a period of transition. Life continues much as before. Meals are prepared. Fields are tended. Children grow older. People adapt to changing circumstances in practical ways. Large historical processes unfold slowly through countless individual decisions. This perspective helps bring ancient history back to a human scale. Cities do not vanish all at once. People experience change gradually, one season at a time, 1 year at a time, 1 generation at a time. And even after major cities declined, Maya communities continued. Languages endured, traditions endured, knowledge endured. The story did not end. It evolved. This matters because lost cities are sometimes misunderstood as lost civilizations. two are not the same. A city may be abandoned. A culture may continue. Buildings may disappear beneath forests. People may preserve memories, customs, and identities for centuries afterward. The Maya world offers a powerful reminder of that distinction. In recent years, another remarkable discovery emerged from the forests. Even now, the forest continues to reveal new stories. Recently, researchers identified evidence of another large Maya city, now known as Valeriana. Hidden beneath dense vegetation, its remains had gone unnoticed by many people for generations. Once again, the jungle had concealed an entire urban landscape. And once again, careful investigation revealed a forgotten chapter of history. The discovery reminds us that our understanding of the past remains incomplete. New findings continue to appear. New questions continue to emerge. The forest still holds secrets, and perhaps it always will. As evening settles over the Maya world, imagine standing atop a temple at the edge of the jungle. The sun is sinking toward the horizon. Golden light touches distant treetops. Mist begins to gather once more among the valleys. The sounds of the forest slowly change as day turns toward night. Far below, ancient plazas rest in silence. The crowds have long since vanished. The markets have closed. The roads are quiet. Yet the city remains. Stone still rises above the trees. Inscriptions still preserve forgotten voices. Roads still trace ancient pathways beneath the vegetation. And around them all, the jungle continues its patient work. Leaves fall. Roots spread. Birds build nests among old stones. The forest gently reclaims what people once built. Not with violence, not with urgency, but with the slow rhythm of nature itself. And as darkness settles across the canopy, the sounds of the jungle continue. Soft, steady, enduring, like a distant memory carried through the night. By now, our journey through lost cities has carried us across deserts, mountains, forests, and river valleys. Yet some of humanity's most remarkable urban worlds emerged far from any continent at all. They appeared among islands scattered across immense stretches of ocean, places where the horizon seemed endless, places where memory traveled not through roads, but through waves, and where cities could rise from the sea itself. Tonight, let us drift gently across the Pacific. Let us follow ancient sailors beneath quiet stars, and let us visit one of the most unusual cities ever created, a place known as Nan Madol. Imagine approaching a tropical island at dawn. The sea is calm. Small waves roll softly against dark volcanic shores. Palm trees sway in the morning breeze. The air smells faintly of salt and rain. From a distance, the coastline appears ordinary. But as you move closer, something unexpected begins to emerge from the water. Stone walls, canals, artificial islands, entire structures rising from the edge of the sea. Nan Madol was built on the island of Pompeii, in what is now the Federated States of Micronesia. One of the most unusual aspects of Nan Madol is the way it was built. Instead, it was created from a network of small artificial islets linked by waterways. In some ways, it resembled a city floating upon the ocean. Imagine traveling there centuries ago. A canoe glides quietly through narrow canals. Water reflects the sky above. Stone walls rise on either side. The sounds of birds echo through the humid air. Ahead, ceremonial buildings stand among carefully arranged platforms. The city feels connected to both land and sea, neither entirely one nor the other. The result was a settlement unlike almost any other in the ancient world. Its builders worked with enormous basalt columns. Some of these stones were surprisingly large, even today. Visitors often wonder how they were transported. The islands contain no convenient quarries capable of explaining every stone used in construction. Over the generations, stories accumulated around the stones. Legends slowly took shape. Many local traditions spoke of powerful figures who possessed unusual abilities. Some stories suggested that giants helped move the stones. Others described mysterious forces guiding the work. Non-Mado was not alone in inspiring such stories. Throughout history, when people encountered impressive monuments whose origins seemed difficult to explain, legends often appeared beside them. In that sense, myths became another kind of architecture. They helped communities build meaning around remarkable places. Imagine standing beside one of those basalt walls. The stones are stacked like enormous logs, dark, heavy, weathered by centuries of wind and rain. The tropical forest presses close around the ruins. Vines climb ancient surfaces. Bird calls drift through the air. And beneath everything lies a quiet feeling of patience. The city has watched generations come and go. The stones remain. For many years, outsiders viewed Nan Madol as mysterious and isolated. Yet the people who lived there were never cut off from the wider world. The Pacific Ocean was not a barrier. It was a highway. Looking across the Pacific today, it is easy to underestimate the connections that once existed between distant islands. When we look at a map, the Pacific appears vast, almost impossibly vast. Blue space stretching across enormous distances, but ancient navigators learned to read that space with extraordinary skill. To them, the ocean contained information. The movement of waves mattered. The direction of birds mattered. Cloud formations mattered. The position of stars mattered. Imagine a sailor preparing for a long voyage. Night has fallen. The sea is dark and calm. Above him, countless stars fill the sky. There are no compasses, no charts, no electronic instruments, only memory, knowledge, observation, and experience passed down across generations. He studies the heavens. Certain stars rise from specific points on the horizon. Others set in predictable directions. Together they form pathways, invisible roads stretching across the ocean. Skilled navigators learned these pathways so thoroughly that they could carry entire maps within memory. They carried entire maps within their minds. The result was one of humanity's greatest traditions of navigation. Island communities separated by hundreds or even thousands of miles remained connected through knowledge. Knowledge of winds, knowledge of currents, knowledge of stars, and perhaps most importantly, knowledge of memory itself. This matters because memory was often the most valuable tool available. A navigator might learn from elders who had spent decades crossing the ocean. Those elders had learned from earlier generations, and those generations had learned from others before them. The chain extended backward through centuries. Every voyage became part of a larger story. Every successful crossing added another chapter. Picture a group of travelers crossing open water beneath a moonlit sky. The canoe rises and falls gently with the waves. Voices remain quiet. The stars shine above. No land is visible. Only darkness and ocean. Yet the navigators know where they are. They understand the language of the sea, and slowly, over many hours, they move toward an island hidden beyond the horizon. It is a remarkable reminder of how people once understood their environment. Modern technology often encourages us to think of navigation as something performed by machines. But for countless generations, navigation was an art practiced through observation and memory. The ocean became a living landscape. Its signs could be read by those who knew where to look. Nan Madol itself eventually declined. The reasons remain complex. Over the generations, circumstances changed. Communities adapted. New centers emerged elsewhere. Over time, the city became quieter. Buildings fell into disuse. Vegetation advanced. Nature slowly entered spaces once filled with people. Yet there is another side to this story. The city never completely vanished. Local communities remembered it. Stories remained. Knowledge survived. A city can disappear from everyday use without disappearing from memory. This is a theme we have encountered many times during our journey. Again and again, we find that places often remain alive in stories long after they fade from maps. Imagine visiting Nan Madol today. The canals still exist. The stone walls still stand. The ocean still moves gently around the artificial islands. Sunlight reflects from the water. Trees grow where people once gathered. The atmosphere feels peaceful, not abandoned, simply quiet, as though the city is resting. And perhaps that feeling connects it to many other lost cities around the world. Some lie beneath jungle canopies. Some rest beneath desert sands. Some wait beneath modern streets. Others sit beside the sea. Each one reminds us that human achievement is never entirely measured by what survives. Sometimes it is measured by what is remembered. The memory endured. The stories endured. The knowledge endured. Even when the cities themselves became still. As our journey across the Pacific slowly continues, imagine one final scene. A canoe moving across dark water, a gentle breeze, a sky crowded with stars. No visible road, no signposts, no map. Only memory carried from one generation to the next. The sailors follow the stars. The waves whisper against the hull. An island waits somewhere ahead. And across the vastness of the ocean, invisible pathways connect distant worlds. The evidence of those journeys still survives today, not only in ruins such as Nan Madol, but in traditions, in stories, in knowledge passed carefully from person to person. And perhaps that is one of the most beautiful lessons offered by lost cities. Stone can crumble, walls can fall, forests can grow, but memory has a way of traveling onward. Much like those ancient sailors crossing the Pacific beneath the quiet light of the stars. The world of lost cities is not found only in jungles or mountains. Many of them emerged in places where the landscape appears almost empty. Across deserts, along forgotten roads, beside ancient harbors, at lonely crossroads where travelers once met before continuing their journeys into distant lands. Tonight, let us wander through those places. Let us follow caravans moving across dry horizons. Let us step into silent libraries. Let us visit ports where ships no longer arrive. And let us discover how trade routes, once filled with life, can slowly fade into memory. Imagine a vast desert beneath an endless sky. The morning sun is gentle, the air is cool. Far in the distance, dunes rise and fall like waves frozen in time. For many people, such a landscape might seem empty. Yet for thousands of years, deserts often contained busy routes connecting entire civilizations. Merchants crossed them, pilgrims crossed them, messengers crossed them, ideas crossed them. In many ways, deserts were not barriers. They were corridors. One city that flourished along such corridors was Lulin. Today, Lulin rests on the edge of the Great Taklamakan Desert in western China. The ruins appear quiet now. Dry earth stretches toward the horizon. Wind moves across the landscape. Little remains of the bustling settlement that once stood there. Yet imagine arriving in Lulin during its prosperous years. Travelers approach from distant regions. Camels carry goods. Merchants exchange news. Different languages fill the air. People from various cultures pass through the same streets. Lulan rested along routes that connected distant regions for generations. Goods moving between east and west often traveled through challenging environments. Cities such as Lulan offered rest, supplies, and safety. For weary travelers, these settlements must have seemed like islands of life within an ocean of sand. What makes this fascinating is how dependent such cities were upon their environment. Everything depended upon water. Rivers sustained fields, travelers, and communities alike. Small changes in geography could alter everything. Over time, rivers shifted. Water became less reliable. The surrounding landscape changed. And slowly, the city declined. It was a pattern repeated in many places throughout history. A thriving settlement became a quiet ruin. Not because its people lacked skill, not because they lacked determination, but because the landscape itself evolved. Imagine walking through Lulan after its decline. The streets are empty, doors stand open, wind drifts through abandoned spaces. The silence feels vast, yet beneath that silence remains the memory of countless journeys. The evidence still survives today, and it reminds us how closely human communities depend upon the natural world around them. Beyond Lulan stretched the immense Taklamakan Desert itself. Its name has inspired many stories. For centuries, travelers viewed the desert with a mixture of respect and caution. Imagine standing at its edge. Sand extends in every direction. The horizon shimmers. The landscape appears almost endless, yet scattered throughout this immense region were small settlements, resting places, and trading communities. Many have disappeared beneath drifting sands. Nature can be surprisingly patient. A forest may slowly reclaim a city through roots and vegetation. A desert works more quietly, grain by grain, season by season, grain by grain, year after year, century after century, until entire structures vanish from sight. It is easy to imagine a traveler noticing only a distant mound, never realizing that walls, homes, and workshops lie hidden beneath. And so the desert keeps its secrets. At least for a while. Not all forgotten places vanished beneath sand. Some survived through an entirely different kind of preservation. Imagine a small cave tucked into a cliffside. From the outside, it appears ordinary, yet inside rests a remarkable collection of manuscripts, books, documents, letters, religious texts, records of everyday life. This place became known as the Library Cave. For centuries, thousands of manuscripts remained hidden there, protected from weather, protected from disturbance, waiting quietly. Imagine the people who placed those texts inside. Perhaps they believed they were preserving something valuable. Perhaps they hoped future generations would someday find them. Or perhaps they simply sought a safe place for important writings. Whatever their reasons, something precious was preserved. The cave became a time capsule, a quiet room where voices from the distant past continued to survive. This matters because cities are not remembered only through stone. They are remembered through words. A manuscript can preserve a world. A letter can reveal daily concerns. A simple record can illuminate lives otherwise forgotten. When such documents survive, they allow us to hear faint echoes of ancient conversations, and those echoes can feel surprisingly human. Someone worrying about supplies, someone recording a transaction, someone copying a religious text by lamplight. The details may be small, yet together they create a portrait of a living society. Far from the deserts of Central Asia, another city once stood beside the Mediterranean Sea. Its name was Ephesus. Today, visitors walk among impressive ruins, wide streets, stone facades, columns reaching toward the sky. Yet the story of Ephesus is not simply one of construction. It is also a story of geography. Imagine arriving at the harbor centuries ago. Ships crowd the waterfront. Sailors unload cargo. Merchants negotiate prices. Voices echo across busy quays. The harbor serves as the city's connection to distant lands. Trade flows continuously. The sea brings opportunity. The sea brings wealth. The sea brings visitors from across the Mediterranean world. Yet shorelines change slowly across the centuries. Rivers carry sediment. Harbors gradually fill. Land slowly changes shape. What once stood beside open water may eventually stand far inland. Over time, Ephesus experienced precisely this challenge. The harbor became increasingly difficult to use. The sea slowly withdrew from the city's doorstep. Imagine a captain arriving years later. The shoreline no longer resembles what he remembers. Water channels become shallower. Navigation becomes more difficult. Trade patterns shift. Gradually, the city's relationship with the sea changes. The result was not immediate disappearance. Rather, it was a slow transformation. A reminder that cities depend upon connections. When those connections weaken, communities must adapt. And sometimes adaptation proves difficult. Another ancient city, older still, waits for us across the waters of the Aegean. Mycenae. Imagine approaching a fortified hill crowned with massive stone walls. The landscape feels timeless. Olive trees cover nearby slopes. The air is warm. Birdsong drifts across the countryside. Long ago, Mycenae stood among the most influential centers of the ancient Greek world. Its rulers governed networks of settlements. Its artisans created remarkable works. Its merchants participated in wide-ranging exchange. Yet centuries passed. Over the generations, the wider world changed. New centers emerged. Old connections weakened. The city eventually lost its former prominence. What remains today are stones, walls, gateways, fragments of a larger story. And perhaps that is enough. Because ruins do not need to tell us everything. Sometimes they simply invite reflection. Imagine touching one of those ancient stones. Generations of people have stood in that same place. Generations have wondered who built these walls. Generations have asked what daily life once looked like there. The mystery remains gentle, not frustrating, simply incomplete, like a conversation whose final pages have been lost. Our final stop tonight brings us to a city that became one of the great crossroads of the ancient world. Palmyra. Imagine a green oasis emerging from the desert. Palm trees sway in the breeze. Water supports gardens and farms. Travelers arrive after long journeys through dry landscapes. Ahead stands a prosperous city. Markets bustle. Caravans rest. Goods move between distant regions. Palmyra flourished because it connected worlds. East met west there. Cultures met there. Ideas met there. The city became a bridge between civilizations. Picture an evening in Palmyra. The day's heat begins to fade. Merchants gather in courtyards. Camels kneel beside loaded packs. Oil lamps glow softly. Voices mingle beneath the desert sky. For a moment, the city feels eternal. Yet no city remains unchanged forever. Trade routes evolve. Political circumstances shift. Patterns of travel transform. Over time, Palmyra's importance diminished. The caravans became fewer. The streets grew quieter. The great crossroads slowly lost some of its traffic. And once again, a city entered a different chapter of its story. This reminds us of something important. Many lost cities did not disappear suddenly. They faded gradually, year by year, generation by generation. A shop closes. A road becomes less traveled. A harbor silts up. A river changes course. A caravan chooses a different route. The transformation can be so gradual that those living through it barely notice, until one day, centuries later, people look upon the ruins and wonder what happened. As we bring this journey through deserts and trade routes toward its close, imagine one final scene. A caravan crossing the evening sands. The sun rests low on the horizon. Long shadows stretch across the desert floor. Camel bells ring softly in the distance. Far ahead, a city waits. Its lamps flicker in the gathering darkness. Its gates remain open. Its markets remain active. Its people continue their ordinary lives. Yet somewhere beyond the horizon, change is already beginning. A river will shift. A harbor will fill. A road will move. A trade route will fade. Not through drama, not through catastrophe, simply through the steady passage of time. And that may be one of the most fascinating lessons offered by lost cities. Human beings build roads across deserts, harbors beside seas, libraries filled with knowledge, markets connecting distant cultures. For a while, those places seem permanent. Then landscapes change, economies change, journeys change. The cities grow quiet. The ships no longer reach old ports. The caravans choose new roads. The libraries become still. And the wind moves gently through places where countless footsteps once passed. Yet the memory remains. The stones remain. The stories remain, waiting patiently for those who wander by and listen. As our journey continues, our view of the ancient world begins to widen once more. We have wandered through deserts and mountains. We have crossed oceans and followed forgotten trade routes. Now we arrive in places that remind us just how many different ways human beings have chosen to build cities. Some rose across broad plains. Some spread among river valleys. Some appeared beside sacred mountains. Others remained hidden beneath forests so vast that generations scarcely imagined what lay beneath the trees. Tonight, let us travel through great capitals of Asia, and then, slowly, let us move toward one of the world's most intriguing frontiers of discovery, the immense Amazon rainforest, a place where ancient cities may still be waiting beneath the green canopy. But first, imagine a landscape filled with temples, thousands of them, large and small, stone and brick, spreading across the horizon beneath a warm morning sky. Mist lingers among trees. Birds circle above ancient spires. The first rays of sunlight touch weathered surfaces that have stood for centuries. This is Bagan. Located in present-day Myanmar, Bagan became one of the great religious and cultural centers of Southeast Asia. Today, visitors often speak of the remarkable number of temples that remain scattered across the plain. Yet behind every monument stood ordinary lives. Imagine waking before dawn in ancient Bagan. The air is cool. Monks walk quietly through narrow paths. Farmers prepare for the day's work. Artisans gather tools. Children stir awake in nearby homes. As sunlight slowly spreads across the landscape, hundreds of temple silhouettes emerge from the morning haze. The scene must have been unforgettable, not because of a single building, but because of the sheer scale of human effort surrounding them. Each temple represented labor, planning, faith, craftsmanship, and countless individual decisions made over generations. One of the quiet lessons of history is that cities often survive through fragments. A wall remains, a tower survives, a foundation persists. From those pieces, we begin to imagine the larger world that once existed around them. Bagan offers precisely that experience. The temples remain visible, yet they also hint at a much larger urban landscape that supported them. Markets, roads, workshops, homes, gardens, communities, Together they formed a living city beneath the sacred skyline. The evidence still survives today, and it offers a remarkable reminder of how deeply architecture can shape memory. From Myanmar, let us drift westward toward another city whose story reflects both greatness and impermanence. Imagine a broad river flowing through fertile land. Boats move along the water. Merchants arrive from distant shores. Markets overflow with goods. Foreign visitors mingle with local residents. The city feels vibrant and connected to the wider world. This is Ayutthaya. For centuries, Ayutthaya stood among the most important urban centers of Southeast Asia. Travelers who arrived there often described an impressive and prosperous city. Its waterways served as roads. Its location encouraged trade. Its rulers oversaw a thriving kingdom connected to networks stretching across Asia and beyond. Picture a typical morning. Wooden boats glide through canals. Vendors prepare food. Temple bells sound in the distance. Officials travel through busy streets. Families begin their daily routines. Life unfolds with a rhythm that feels both ancient and familiar. Yet beyond the temples and monuments, everyday life continued much as it does anywhere else. They are places where ordinary days occurred. People worried about weather. Children played games. Merchants counted goods. Neighbors exchanged greetings. History often preserves rulers, yet cities were built by everyone else. And it is those countless ordinary lives that gave places like Ayutthaya their true character. Over time, political circumstances changed. Conflicts occurred. The city experienced periods of hardship. Yet even after decline, many traces survived. Ruins remained. Foundations remained. Memories remained. In that sense, the city never entirely disappeared. It simply entered a quieter chapter of its existence. Now let us continue towards southern India. Imagine a landscape of enormous boulders scattered across rolling hills. The stones appear almost sculpted by nature. Between them stand temples, markets, reservoirs, and roads. The scene feels dreamlike, a place where architecture and landscape seem perfectly intertwined. This is Hampi. Once part of the great city of Vijayanagara, Hampi feels inseparable from the landscape around it. Imagine approaching at sunrise. Golden light touches massive stone formations. Monkeys move among the rocks. Farmers walk through fields. Temple towers rise above the landscape. The entire region feels both natural and carefully designed. Vijayanagara grew into one of the largest cities of its time. Visitors described impressive markets and grand public spaces. Trade connected the city to distant regions. Artisans produced remarkable works. Religious traditions flourished. Yet imagine the city not during ceremonies or public events. Imagine an ordinary afternoon. A craftsman shapes stone beneath a shaded workshop. Nearby, merchants discuss prices. Children race through narrow streets. Women carry water from reservoirs. A traveler pauses to rest before continuing a long journey. These small moments rarely appear in historical records, yet they formed the foundation of urban life. The city grew from countless small moments repeated across generations. The result was a community that felt alive, a place where human activity filled every corner. Over time, circumstances changed. The city declined. Buildings fell silent. Nature gradually returned. Yet even today, visitors often describe a sense of presence lingering among the ruins. The stones seem to remember, not literally, of course, but through their endurance, through their ability to connect us with people who lived centuries ago. Elsewhere, another story unfolded. Sometimes the reasons remain more subtle. Imagine a city planned with care and ambition. Wide avenues, elegant buildings, palaces, Gardens, courtyards, everything arranged according to a vision. This is Fatehpur Sikri. Built during the reign of the Mughal Emperor Akbar, the city became an impressive center of administration and culture. Imagine arriving there during its height. Red sandstone buildings glow beneath the afternoon sun. Courtyards fill with conversation. Officials move between offices. Scholars gather to discuss ideas. Artists create intricate works. The city appears confident and orderly, yet its period as a major capital was relatively brief. Over time, priorities shifted. Administrative centers moved elsewhere. The city became quieter. The result is one of history's most intriguing urban landscapes, a place that feels remarkably complete, as though its builders simply stepped away. Walking through Fatehpur Sikri today can feel like entering a preserved moment. Doorways remain, courtyards remain. The geometry of the city remains, and with it comes a gentle reminder. Even carefully planned cities are not guaranteed permanence. Human priorities change, centers of power move, and cities adapt accordingly. Up to this point, our journey has focused largely on places whose ruins are visible, places where stone, brick, or earth still announce their presence. Yet there is another story unfolding in our own time, a story emerging beneath the forests of the Amazon. For generations, many people imagined the Amazon rainforest as a wilderness, largely untouched by large-scale urban life. The forest appeared too dense, too vast, too difficult. The assumption seemed reasonable, yet recent discoveries have encouraged historians and archaeologists to reconsider that picture. Imagine flying above the rainforest. Below stretches an endless sea of green. Trees cover everything. The canopy appears unbroken. No cities are visible. No roads. No obvious signs of large human settlements. The landscape seems entirely natural, yet beneath those trees, traces of ancient communities remain. Earthworks, road networks, raised fields, settlements connected across surprisingly large areas. Perhaps the most remarkable aspect is how long these traces remained hidden. The forest concealed them. Nature quietly protected them. Only recently have new methods allowed researchers to identify patterns invisible from the ground. Imagine a researcher studying detailed images of the landscape. Gradually, geometric shapes begin to appear. Straight lines, circular formations, large earthworks, features too organized to be natural. Slowly, an ancient human landscape emerges from beneath the forest canopy. The realization must have been profound, not because a lost city suddenly appears, but because an entirely different understanding of the past begins to take shape. This reminds us that history is never completely finished. New discoveries continue to expand our understanding. New evidence continues to challenge old assumptions. And the Amazon has become one of the most exciting examples of that process. Picture an ancient community living within the rainforest. Gardens surround homes. Paths connect neighboring settlements. People cultivate crops adapted to local conditions. Knowledge of plants passes from generation to generation. The forest is not viewed as an obstacle. It is viewed as home. For many years, researchers also became interested in a remarkable substance known as dark earth. Certain areas of Amazonian soil proved unusually fertile. Closer examination suggested that human communities had helped create and enrich these soils over long periods. The result was a landscape shaped not only by nature, but by careful human stewardship. It offers a gentle reminder that people and forests have often shaped one another. Rather than existing in opposition, communities often worked alongside the environment, The forest and the city were not always separate categories. In some places, they became deeply intertwined. As discoveries continue, new sites regularly emerge from the shadows. Some are large, some are small. Many remain only partially understood. The mystery remains. Gentle rather than dramatic, patient rather than urgent. There is still much to learn, and perhaps that is one of the most wonderful aspects of this story. Even now, in the 21st century, humanity continues to uncover forgotten chapters of its own past. Imagine standing at the edge of the rainforest as evening approaches. The sky glows softly above the trees. Bird calls echo in the distance. The forest stretches toward the horizon. Somewhere beneath that vast canopy lie traces of people who lived, worked, traded, farmed, celebrated, and dreamed. Their cities may not resemble the stone monuments of Egypt or the temples of Southeast Asia, yet they remain part of the same human story, a story of creativity, adaptation, community, and memory. As night settles over the landscape, it becomes easy to reflect upon the scale of the ancient world. Bagan's temples rising through morning mist, Ayutthaya's waterways carrying merchants and travelers, Hampi's stone hills glowing in golden light, Fatehpur Sikri's quiet courtyards, and beyond them all, the immense Amazon, still holding many of its secrets beneath the trees. The evidence continues to emerge, the discoveries continue, and somewhere beyond the next hill, beneath the next layer of forest, another forgotten city may still be waiting patiently to be found. Throughout our journey, we have wandered among temples, palaces, walls, harbors, roads, and monuments. We have visited cities built beside deserts, mountains, forests, and oceans. We have followed merchants, sailors, pilgrims, and travelers across vast distances. Yet there is another side to the story of lost cities, a quieter side, perhaps the most meaningful side of all. Because when archaeologists uncover an ancient city, they do not find only grand buildings. They also find traces of ordinary people. The people who baked bread, the people who repaired shoes, the people who misplaced keys and spent the afternoon searching for them, the people who carried water, the people who tucked children into bed at night and expected tomorrow to arrive just like every day before it. And in many ways, these small traces allow us to feel closer to the ancient world than any monument ever could. Imagine walking through a ruined city at dawn. The streets are silent. The buildings stand empty. Centuries have passed. Yet as you move through the ruins, you notice something small preserved in the earth. A footprint. Not the footprint of a ruler. Not the footprint of a famous warrior. Simply the footprint of a person. Perhaps a child. Perhaps a laborer. Perhaps someone whose name has been forgotten for thousands of years. The impression remains, a single step preserved by chance. The power of such discoveries lies in their simplicity. A footprint is not a monument, it is not an inscription, it is not an official record. It is evidence of a moment. A person placed a foot upon soft ground, then continued walking. Nothing more. And yet that simple action survives across centuries. Imagine seeing those footprints for the first time. The distance between past and present suddenly feels much smaller. For a brief moment, the distance between past and present seems to fade. The result is often surprisingly moving. Because footprints remind us that history was lived one step at a time. The great cities we have explored were not experienced as history by the people who lived there. They were simply home, a place where ordinary routines unfolded every day, and sometimes those routines leave behind remarkable traces. Imagine entering an ancient house. The walls may be damaged, the roof may be gone, yet scattered across the floor are objects left behind by former residents. A bowl, a lamp, a tool, perhaps even a toy. These small items often tell stories that monuments cannot. Consider a child's toy. Perhaps it was carved from wood, perhaps shaped from clay, perhaps worn smooth from years of use. Imagine the child who once carried it through busy streets. Imagine laughter echoing through a courtyard. Imagine games played beneath the afternoon sun. The toy remains. The child grows distant in time. Yet a small trace of that life still survives. Yet through that object, a small piece of daily life remains visible. This matters because ancient cities were filled with children. Sometimes we forget that. Historical accounts often focus upon rulers and officials, yet every city also contained families, parents teaching skills, grandparents sharing stories, children learning how the world worked, children asking questions, children making mistakes, children creating memories. The sounds of childhood once filled places that are now silent ruins, and occasionally, archaeology allows us to hear faint echoes of those sounds. Another remarkable example comes from something even simpler: bread. Imagine entering a bakery nearly 2,000 years ago. The day begins before sunrise. Workers prepare ovens. Flour fills the air. Dough is shaped by practiced hands. The smell of baking bread drifts through nearby streets. Customers arrive. Orders are prepared. The routine feels entirely ordinary. Yet in certain ancient cities, loaves of bread survived through unusual circumstances, preserved by ash, dry conditions, or simple chance. When discovered centuries later, these loaves revealed details that written records never could. The shape of the bread, the markings left by bakers, the techniques used during preparation. Small details, yet meaningful ones. Because bread connects us directly to everyday life. Almost everyone ate. Almost everyone depended upon food prepared by others. A preserved loaf reminds us that ancient people were not distant abstractions. They experienced hunger, comfort routine, and familiar daily rhythms. The evidence still survives today, and it quietly bridges the gap between their world and ours. Now imagine something even smaller. A key, perhaps made of metal, perhaps worn from years of use. One day someone places it down, perhaps on a table, perhaps in a workshop, perhaps beside a doorway. For reasons we can never fully know, the key remains there. Years pass, centuries pass, the owner never returns. Eventually the city disappears, yet the key survives. Even the most ordinary objects can inspire reflection. What door did it open? What room did it protect? What possessions lay beyond? Who carried it? What did that person worry about? What did they hope for? We cannot know. And yet the object invites gentle reflection. The owner may be forgotten, the lock may be gone, the building may have vanished, but the key remains, like a small message from another life. In that sense, archaeology often resembles a conversation conducted across centuries, not through words, but through objects. Each discovery reveals something about how people lived, how they organized their homes, how they worked, how they spent their evenings, how they cared for families. Imagine walking through a neighborhood preserved beneath layers of time. Doorways remain visible. Rooms remain recognizable. Cooking areas can still be identified. Storage spaces survive. Workshops sit where artisans once labored. The city feels unexpectedly familiar. not because everything is identical to modern life, but because human needs remain surprisingly consistent. People needed shelter, food, companionship, purpose, many of the same things people seek today. People needed purpose. These fundamental experiences connect us across enormous stretches of time. Sometimes the most powerful discoveries involve not objects, but absence. Imagine a house whose residents left in a hurry. Meals remain unfinished. Tools remain where they were last used. Personal belongings remain scattered throughout the rooms. The scene feels frozen, as though time paused unexpectedly. Such places offer rare glimpses into lives that would otherwise be forgotten. For listeners like us, they offer something different. A chance to imagine the people themselves. Imagine a family gathering for an evening meal. A lamp glows softly. Voices fill the room. Outside, neighbors continue their routines. No one knows that centuries later, strangers will examine the remains of their home. No one imagines that future generations will wonder about their lives. They are simply living, just as people do today. And perhaps that realization matters more than any artifact. The people of lost cities rarely knew they were living in places that would become historical sites. They were concerned with immediate things: harvests, friendships, repairs, celebrations, work, rest, tomorrow's tasks. The same concerns that occupy human beings in every age. This reminds us that history is not only the story of major events, it is also the story of ordinary days. Thousands upon thousands of ordinary days. A baker preparing bread, a child carrying a toy, a traveler locking a door, a craftsperson completing a project, a parent comforting a frightened child during a storm. Most of these moments were never recorded, yet collectively they created entire civilizations. And sometimes, through remarkable luck, fragments survive: a footprint, a loaf of bread, a key, a toy. Each object tells a small story. Together they tell a much larger one. They remind us that ancient cities were not collections of ruins. They were communities filled with living people. People who laughed, worked, learned, loved, and eventually disappeared into history. Yet there is another side to this story. The objects often outlive their owners. A simple clay lamp may survive for centuries. A child's toy may endure long after countless generations have passed. A key may remain buried beneath the earth while entire empires rise and fall above it. The result is both humbling and comforting. Humbling because individual lives are brief. Comforting because traces remain, not always grand traces, not always famous traces, but meaningful ones. Imagine holding an ancient object discovered within a lost city. Perhaps it fits easily into your hand. Perhaps it appears surprisingly ordinary. You might even mistake it for something modern. And, that is, precisely the people who used it were not fundamentally different from us. The centuries separating us are vast, yet the human experiences connecting us are equally powerful. As our journey through ordinary lives begins to draw toward its close, picture one final scene. An ancient street at sunset. The day's work is ending. Shopkeepers close doors. Children return home. Bread cools upon wooden shelves. Keys hang beside entrances. Lamps begin to glow. Neighbors exchange quiet greetings. Nothing extraordinary is happening. No great event, no famous ceremony, no moment destined for history books. Just an ordinary evening. And perhaps that ordinary evening is exactly what makes it so valuable. Because history is often preserved through extraordinary monuments, yet humanity is preserved through ordinary lives. The footprints remain. The toys remain. The bread remains. The keys remain. And through them, the people of lost cities continue to speak softly across the centuries. Their names may be forgotten. Their voices may be silent. But the evidence of their lives still survives today. A remarkable reminder that even the smallest moments can endure far longer than anyone expects, and that sometimes the most important stories are not about cities at all. They are about the people who called those cities home. We have traveled a long way together, across deserts swept by patient winds, through jungles where roots wrapped themselves around ancient stone, along mountain paths that disappeared into clouds, across oceans guided by stars, into marketplaces, temples, homes, workshops, harbors, libraries, and forgotten streets. We have wandered through cities that flourished, cities that changed, cities that became quiet. And throughout this journey, one idea has returned again and again. Lost cities are not really about ruins. They are about people. People who built homes. People who carried water. People who raised families. People who looked toward the future without knowing how distant generations would remember them. Tonight, as our journey slowly approaches its end, let us visit one final kind of lost city. Not a city hidden beneath a jungle, not a city buried beneath sand, but a city hidden beneath another city. Because sometimes the ancient world is not far away at all. Sometimes it lies directly beneath our feet. Imagine standing in the heart of Rome. Traffic moves through the streets. People walk through busy squares. Cafes welcome visitors. Church bells occasionally echo across the city. Life continues much as it has for centuries, yet beneath the modern streets lies another Rome, and beneath that Rome lies another, layer upon layer, century upon century, a city built upon earlier versions of itself. Imagine digging gently into the ground. A few feet below the surface, traces of earlier buildings begin to appear. Stone foundations, old roads, fragments of walls, ancient drains, the remains of homes. Go deeper still. Another layer emerges, and another. The result is a layered history resting quietly beneath the city. The city did not simply replace its past. It accumulated its past, like pages added to an enormous book. Cities are always changing, even when those changes unfold slowly. People build, they rebuild, they repair, they expand. Old structures become foundations for new ones. Forgotten streets become buried beneath later construction. The past remains present, even when it can no longer be seen. Imagine a resident of ancient Rome walking through a neighborhood 2,000 years ago. They purchase food, meet friends, complete daily tasks. For them, the city feels permanent, solid, enduring, yet centuries later their street becomes hidden beneath newer buildings. And centuries after that, another city grows above both. The footsteps continue, the people change, the layers remain. Rome is not unique in this regard. Many cities around the world contain hidden worlds beneath their modern surfaces. Each layer preserves traces of previous generations. Each layer tells a story. Each layer reminds us that urban life is a continuous process rather than a finished product. Now let us travel across the Atlantic to another remarkable example. Imagine standing in the center of modern Mexico City. Cars move through wide avenues. Shops welcome customers. Parks provide places for rest. The city stretches across an enormous landscape. Millions of people live their lives here every day. Yet beneath much of the modern city rests another great urban world. The city of Tenochtitlan. Long before modern streets filled the valley, Tenochtitlan stood among the most impressive cities in the Americas. Canals crossed the landscape. causeways connected districts. Markets attracted visitors from far beyond the city itself. The settlement rose from an island environment that astonished many who encountered it. Imagine approaching by canoe. Water reflects the sky. Gardens float nearby. Buildings rise ahead. The city appears almost to emerge from the lake itself. The scene must have been unforgettable. Yet history continued. The city changed. New structures appeared. Old structures disappeared. Generations passed. Eventually, modern Mexico City grew above the earlier settlement. Yet the earlier city never disappeared entirely. The earlier city remains present in foundations, discoveries, traditions, and memory. It still influences the landscape. It still shapes the city above it. In that sense, the past never entirely departed. It simply became part of the ground beneath modern life. And perhaps that idea feels strangely comforting. Nothing is completely isolated from what came before. Every generation inherits landscapes shaped by countless others. Every street has a history. Every neighborhood contains stories, even when those stories are no longer immediately visible. Now let us move eastward once more, toward a city we encountered briefly earlier in our journey. A city that has carried many names across many centuries. Istanbul. Imagine standing beside the waters of the Bosporus at sunset. Ships move slowly through the strait. Seagulls circle overhead. The city glows in the fading light. Minarets rise against the sky. Voices drift through the evening air. Yet beneath modern Istanbul lie traces of older cities. The Roman city, the Byzantine city, the Ottoman city. Each generation added new layers, new buildings, new roads, new memories. Imagine walking through the city with the ability to see every century at once. Ancient walls appear beside modern streets. Long vanished harbors return. Markets re-emerge. Lost neighborhoods fill once empty spaces. The entire landscape becomes crowded with history. Not history as dates and events. History as lived experience. Millions of lives layered together. The scale of that layered history is difficult to fully imagine, and yet similar stories can be found almost everywhere. Beneath London, beneath Athens, beneath Cairo, beneath Beijing, beneath countless towns and villages, human beings rarely start completely over. Instead, they build upon what already exists. One generation leaves foundations. Another generation builds upon them. The process continues, century after century. This reminds us that lost cities are not always truly lost. Sometimes they are simply hidden. Sometimes they survive beneath fields. Sometimes beneath forests. Sometimes beneath modern buildings. And sometimes beneath memory itself. A story passed quietly from one generation to another. A local tradition. A place name. A legend. A forgotten road remembered by only a few people. The evidence survives in many forms. Stone is only one of them. As our journey continues toward its final destination, let us widen our perspective even further. Imagine a historian living 1,000 years from now. Imagine an archaeologist studying the remains of our own cities. The idea may seem unusual at first. Modern buildings feel permanent. Roads feel permanent. Entire skylines feel permanent. Yet so did many ancient cities. People living in Petra probably did not imagine tourists wandering through quiet ruins. People living in Angkor likely did not picture forests growing among temples. People living in Tikal could scarcely have imagined future visitors emerging from jungle trails. And yet, history continued. Time moved forward. Landscapes changed. Communities evolved. There is something humbling about imagining how future generations may one day see our world. Imagine a researcher examining the remains of a modern street. Perhaps fragments of buildings survive. Perhaps old transportation networks can still be traced. Perhaps everyday objects reveal how people once lived. The questions would sound familiar. Who lived here? What did they value? How did they spend their days? What stories did they tell? What dreams did they pursue? The questions remain constant because human curiosity remains constant. We are always trying to understand the people who came before us, and one day others may try to understand us. In that sense, every city is a future archaeological site. Every neighborhood is a future historical landscape. Every ordinary object carries the potential to become a clue. The realization is both humbling and beautiful. We are not separate from history. We are part of it, just as those who built the lost cities were part of it. And now, as the night grows quieter, let us begin to slow our pace. The long journey is almost complete. There is no need to hurry, no need to gather more facts, no need to visit another ruin. Instead, allow the images from our travels to drift gently through your mind. The pink cliffs of Petra glowing in evening light, the mountain terraces of the Andes suspended above clouds, the waterways of Angkor reflecting temples and sky, the silent streets of Pompeii, the stone walls of Great Zimbabwe, the underwater statues resting beneath calm seas, the jungle cities of the Maya, the star-guided voyages across the Pacific, the desert caravans crossing ancient trade routes, the temple plains of Bagan, the hidden landscapes beneath the Amazon forest, the footprints of forgotten children, the bread cooling on ancient shelves, the keys left beside long-vanished doors. All of them are part of the same story. A story not about monuments, a story not about empires, a story about people, people building homes, people creating communities, people shaping the landscapes around them, and then eventually passing those landscapes to others. Generation after generation, century after century, the cities rise, the cities change, the cities fade. Yet something always remains. A memory, a story, a stone, a footprint, a road, a name, a fragment waiting patiently beneath the earth. Perhaps that is why lost cities continue to fascinate us, not because they are lost, but because they remind us that nothing is ever entirely gone. The voices may grow quiet, the buildings may crumble, the streets may disappear beneath forests, deserts, or modern neighborhoods. Yet traces endure, and through those traces, the people of the past remain connected to the present. Now imagine a quiet street at night. A single lamp glows softly. The air is still. Footsteps fade into the distance. Beneath the pavement lie older stones. Beneath those stones lie older paths. Beneath those paths lie forgotten traces of lives once lived. The layers continue downward. The layers continue backward. An endless tapestry of human experience stretching through time. And above it all, the night remains calm. The cities rest. The ruins rest. The forests rest. The deserts rest. The oceans rest. The people of the past have left their stories behind. And for a little while tonight, we have wandered among them. Now, the journey is complete. Let the old roads fade softly into the distance. Let the markets grow quiet. Let the ships drift beyond the horizon. Let the lamps burn low. Let the voices become gentle echoes carried by the night. And as countless lost cities settle once more into silence beneath forests, sands, mountains, oceans, and modern streets, allow yourself to settle into rest as well. The ancient stones will remain. The memories will remain. The layers of history will remain. Waiting patiently beneath the world we know. Sleep well, and good night.